Where is it that you're from?
I live in Oklahoma.
Yeah, but like where?
I live in Norman, Oklahoma.
Central, northeast,
South
west.
South Metro
Where
OKC.
is it that you're from?
I'm in OKC.
I live in Oklahoma. All right. All right. Are you live now already?
Yes,
Oh
we're live.
my God. What, you just jump right into it, don't you?
I did. Why not?
He said we is live.
We're
Wow.
live. We're home. We're at Shiloh Bar and Grill. You never know who's going to show up.
Columbia, Missouri. I love it. Hey, I'm telling you, today it was rough though. Dude, I just went out there and played all day. I didn't have anything to do. Actually, I drove to Lawton today, and then I came back, and then I just started playing, and then here I am. So
Yeah. Well, okay, so I haven't played disc golf since we played. I'm gonna
well,
have to confess.
I'm ready to come back and play again, man. That was a lot of fun.
That was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, my brother-in-law, he enjoyed having you out there.
I threw okay today. I mean, dude, it was just nonchalant. Nonchalant day, but it was still a pretty good hustle day as far as like sports, driving. I drove probably another like a full day of driving. I probably did three and a half hours of driving
Mhm.
and then walked 36 holes. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to exercise, man. I've been feeling like shit.
Oh, we are live. There it is.
Yep. So yeah, you said you might be back up here middle of June, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't have like so they make a schedule pretty much like quarters out. So I'll probably be there, yeah, probably middle or end of June.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I'm gonna try and take like a little week off, probably in the middle of summer sometime, and then go and do something. But yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say probably end of June somewhere, sometime. Get up there. Maybe we can go play some real golf this time too.
Sounds good. There's old Susie Fenhaven.
I miss Susie. I actually miss Susie. She was always cool shit.
She was, yeah. Did you ever watch Susie Fenhaven, Chris?
Yeah, I've seen a few of those videos from in the past for sure. No, she always seemed like a real genuine, pretty much like I don't know, if like if there were names that you can think of that were in a list of people who you remember in the chase, it's Susie for sure is one of those.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when she did that Halloween. She never once showed her face on camera. And then he was showing her inside of her house during Halloween, and she scanned by the mirror. And I was like, "Oh, got you, Susie. I got you."
It's like Mr. Wilson off of Home Improvement.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So does anyone ever like associated? So Forrest used to mimic that all the time.
yeah.
Like, does anyone have any speculation on why he would mimic that? Like the whole peering over the fence?
I do.
What is your opinion on that, Brian?
What's my
Yeah,
opinion?
like what do you think that represented, or what was he trying to
He did that a lot.
allude to?
Matter of
Yeah,
fact, Doug Preston even did that with the book.
yeah.
He's peeking over the top of the book.
So what do you think that means?
Well, I think it has to do with something you're supposed to find peeking up over the top of the trees.
Over the top of the trees?
Yeah, there's several instances of that.
Can you go any further with it, or is this like is this part
Can
of
I
your
go?
song, or what? Like, what do you
Yeah, it
mean?
is.
Top of the
Oh
tree?
yeah,
What's over the top of the trees, Brian? Come
I've
on.
actually shared it on my last video. It was behind
Well, then
me.
why can't you just share it now?
You want me to share it now?
Well, yeah, if you shared it already, who cares?
Here, I'll share it. Well, I didn't want to get rid of Shiloh, poor guy.
Well, then just talk about it then.
Okay.
So what's peeking over the tree?
I don't need to talk about it. I'll just show you.
Okay, let's see it.
There you go. There you go. There.
Oh, what is that?
It's the
Is
owl
it,
peeking out from the tree, top of the trees.
did
There
Bill
you go.
Gorman make that for you?
No, that's actually a real place. So so there you go. I've actually shared that. So
Can you zoom in?
no, because it's just on my backdrop.
Um,
Anyway, yeah, I've shared that
well,
before.
So where's that at?
That's in somewhere in Wyoming.
some somewhere.
I've actually hid something in my search area. So
Oh,
like
okay. Well, then don't
yeah,
give too much in.
yeah. Well,
No,
you know,
you still might
you
make
know a
it.
little bit of my story, Jason. I did hide something. I was gonna do something with it, turn into like a little treasure hunt. But then I was like, yeah, no, maybe not. I
Yeah.
backed out and I'm just gonna save it for my grandkids, my
Yeah.
nephews.
No. Yep.
It was kind of fun. I've taken my nephews there
So
and
the
had
owl is looking over the trees, and
yeah, when
that's
the sun hits it just
your
right.
sim that equates to Forrest. Like it reminds me of Android.
It's a blaze.
You look at
There-
your Android phone, like
Yeah,
the Android's always like this.
yeah,
He's always watching you.
yeah.
But no,
That's
that's cool. I never seen that picture before, Brian. That actually looks like a an owl like looking down into the wheatgrass looking for a mouse to gobble up.
yeah.
It's pretty
It
badass
when the
actually.
sun hits it just right between 1 and 4 o'clock, kind of rears its head.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Actually, first time I ever shared that live was the very last stream I was on, I think. You know that I was talking to Chris about Jason, you and I had the idea for me to get people to come on and talk about scrapbooks,
Yep.
whether it be a personal story or, what the scrapbook was talking to you about, you know, I didn't get anybody interested in that. And I was
I
telling
don't
Chris,
understand why. I think a lot of people might have bounced on us. The people that, oh,
yeah.
that will open up a whole nother can of worms. But I thought it was a great idea because
Well,
they're,
and where I was going with that is to share my scrapbook at some
yeah.
point in time. I kind of I Chris knows a little bit about that story. You know a little bit. I think I've shared a little bit with Galaxy, but you
Chris,
know,
do you have a scrapbook?
Um, I mean,
Yes or no? It's a yes
here,
or no question, man. Do you have
I
a
mean, all
scrapbook
of
that
this,
that was about you?
all of it is very, very subjective. I can say that, yes, I could sit here and say that a lot of them would be, but it's super subjective. And
Not relevant. I mean, literally speaking to Chris.
I mean, that's, yeah, I could
Okay. So
probably paint
Brian,
that picture,
yeah,
but
why
I
don't
don't,
you
I
why
don't
don't
know.
we do that tonight? Give an example. Like let Chris share his. That's speaking to him. You share yours. Mr. Galaxy, if you're on here, you share yours. Yeah, we could do it tonight and set it. We'll set the pace. Lead by example.
So what I like to do is to take what people have ultimately have realized. So like for me, I have not ultimately realized that a scrapbook would be about me. I can go and pick it apart and see different things about it that would make me think otherwise, right? And so I leave that out. And then I use the rest as data for my own self. So if you're a person that thinks that the scrapbook is specifically about you, I can help path that through and why the scrapbooks would lead on to other scrapbooks. And that's what I've sort of focused on. I've alleviated 100% of bias out of myself so that way I can give you a real repetition of what's maybe going on. And I leave that with the fact that yeah, there could be some scrapbooks that might be about me, myself, or anybody else in my life that could know what is going on. But it's really not all about that. It's more of me curating as many stories as I can, so that way we can share what is actually really happening due to uh, maybe how I think about this going down.
yeah,
That
I love that you said that because what you're saying right there, you're applying to the Chase community, right? Or people that have interest in it. And I've been in it equally as long. And I've just gotten to the point where I've expanded from the chase community, and now I try to be non-judgmental to the world, and not make things about me. Not you see what I mean? Exactly what you said, what you're doing with the scrapbooks so that you could have a clarity. I apply that to life now. And that's something that I learned from the chase. So it's great that you said that because in a couple of months or whenever you'll expand from that and it's going to be your lifestyle because
Mhm.
that's where I'm at. It's like it is my lifestyle. And I
So,
literally learned that from the chase.
so my question is, Chris, so did you ever send Forrest an email?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
sent him so I can like my story's pretty crazy and you may have never heard it. You may have heard me on Speakeasy. You may have seen some of the stuff I've left behind. I
Uh-huh.
pretty much only hang out on Discord. I watch videos. I don't really interact on the comments too much. I'll throw something out, but I have I have just completely different, very, very original ideas and where things pertain and where they go far apart from everybody else's thought process. But I include that through my own life and then I integrate it with the chase. So because I do think that how Forrest was interacting with the emails that I did send him were just simply a method so that I could see the way that he was actually communicating. Like in my head, I'm very, very, very I don't know, both ways, linear and non-linear. I try to think of everything. And so whenever I hear a topic, I am surrounding as many possibilities that it could be. I'm integrating myself as if I'm a detective. And what is possible is not what anybody said. It is
Mhm.
what evidence is left behind. So when I see a poem, and then I see a book, and then I see the construction, and then I see all the fallacies, and then I see all the stories, I go back and I reiterate, okay, why did this happen? And then I have to pencil it all down. It's a lot of data, a a ton of data. And then you just start seeing the repetition of what is happening with these aberrations, with these numbers, why they, like you say, frequencies, right? So Forrest would
Yeah.
go even a little bit deeper. He would actually put 5 C's in a row, and then he would make you think of frequent C's. And
Oh
then
yeah.
so that you can figure
You're letting too much out. Come on. Just
no,
let it go.
this is easy stuff though. What I'm saying is though it's not even deeper than that. It's a combination of things that exist that he has identified in the world that we can't comprehend yet. He is way smarter
I'm
than
gonna
we.
have to get off this show. I gotta leave.
I promise I won't reveal anything that is too.
No, no, it's because like I feel you, man. I mean,
Jason,
I've actually
you were supposed to. What did you forget what you said when you were going to come on?
I told you I was gonna be supportive and like act like I support and
Yeah,
I'm
and you were going to act
trying.
like you didn't know anything.
I'm trying. I'm trying to be supportive and like build, yeah.
Did you want
No,
to say
but
sneak
Chris,
in and say hi?
did you
She's
okay.
never said hi. I'm going to make her sneak in, say
Who's
hi.
that? Your wife?
That's my wife.
Oh,
You
what's her
go
name?
with.
Hi, wifey.
Hello.
This is Jill.
Hey, Jill.
How are
My
you?
name is not Jack. I'm just Brian. It's
Jack
Brian
and Jill.
and Jill, not Jack and Jill.
How was Vegas, Joe?
It was nice, although it was cooler than we anticipated.
It
We
was cooler,
apparently
like
took the
temperature.
Missouri weather with us.
Oh
It
yeah.
rained and it was like 55 degrees.
See, you brought a little sunshine with you, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
No, very
Okay,
cool. I
there you go.
I was bringing,
well, thank you for
First time
joining.
she's never been on.
What does Jill think about everything? Is she just like, you're crazy, bro? Like, just leave
Come
me
here.
out.
You want to tell him? No. She's like, no. She is supportive. She has supported my craziness. How's that? But you know what? She can't deny the journey that we went on either. Right, babe?
that's right.
Yeah. See, she's going to get teary-eyed.
We're on Magic Carpet ride.
So yeah, it's just not me, but I brought the whole family along with me. So Oh, you trying to get the cat over here? Yeah. Well, that cat is in Forrest's vault in a picture. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's something nobody. I hate to switch subjects, but because the cat's here, but um, nobody's been able to determine what the picture of the cat was in the vault.
And the what?
The picture of the cat that's in the vault.
I think it represents the artist that took and painted the famous painting of the waterfalls in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Poussin is his name, I believe.
Yeah. Possibly. I bet Shiloh's got those answers. I
No,
wonder if Ben shared those vault pictures with Shiloh. I bet.
why isn't that stupid cat picture on eBay? Come on, put some
Yeah.
cool shit on it. No, it's
Okay, back. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no,
Oh,
no.
you're
Oh,
I mean,
sorry.
there's a lot of cat references in stoof.com though, right? Like, I mean, you know that there's a picture on the wall where Alan is the winner of a contest where he's naming a kitten.
Yeah.
And so he wins this contest, and Illinois Ghost, I don't know, somewhere maybe 2019 or something, he goes and he creates a video over the pretty much like the little doodle that Forrest had made.
Right.
But in the video, it was also congratulating Alan and his win, and then there's a little, you know, conspiracy here and there. But the whole entire video, the way I look at it, right? So you have cat, right? Cat is a key type word. It's a prefix, right? So we
Right.
have in stoof.com, there's also TAC, which is TAC, which would be like the Tacoma Seattle airport. It's called SeaTac type. So it becomes that, and then in stoof.com. And then you have Alan's cat, which is the anagram of that. And then, of course, you have ACT, which is act, which is what we have on the TV as well. So we've created a prefix with the word cat or the letters A, C, and T. And if you go and take your ACT, then you're smart if you get a good score. So all,
I like
all
that. I like that.
all of it sort of connects. So that's the thing. Like whenever you have to believe that if you're okay, one, I have to go back to stoof.com and say, all right, what I believe is that stoof.com is connected to Forrest Fenn in some way through some universe that's created. So I have to connect it in that manner. And then basically what happens is I become what Forrest would be if he were solving stoof.com, right? He couldn't remember what happened, and then he goes back and all these scrapbooks are in there and he's trying to figure out what the hell I did and where this location is, and he's just giving us what he would do if he lost his memory type thing, and then he would figure it out. And so he had all these keywords maybe stuck in his head, which would be like cat, and then act, and then all of these things would create anagrams so he could simplify it when it came all the way down to the point. And so that's why you see these things that show up in your life now, like when you go and do a FOIA and then get a picture of a vault, and all of a sudden there's just a random picture of a cat you can't figure out. Well, now you connect it to the what's really going on right now with Forrest Fenn in my head. I would take that cat and I would be like, all right, this cat is act, it's tack, and it's also cat, and it's Alan Kelly, it's Illinois Ghost, and then it's Ben, and then it's AK, and then it's all these things in there. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, how does all this mean one thing? And then I go and start piecing it together. And it's literally that. It's that you're taking a whole entire pattern of things and you're simplifying it all the way down to what it could possibly be, which could be letters or numbers, and that's it. And then those things make something significant to what that attribute is whenever they're grouped together. So like a zip code is 5 numbers together. And then you can make 9 if you wanted to really get precise. So I don't know, that's how I think about it. So when you say cat in the picture in the vault, I'm automatically I'm on stoof.com. I'm completely beyond whatever Jack is doing, whatever anything is going on. I am like, you're whatever you say, I am taking it straight to stoof.com and figuring out how that fits in the puzzle, because I think that's really the only thing that's going on right now that anything is claiming at all to be pertained to the Fenn chase, because JCB is not claiming that at all. He's saying this is his own deal and whatever. And so like
other than the olive jar, of course.
well, I mean, it's not even, that's still like, I mean, how are we supposed to sit here and believe everything that he says about he's literally sat on this olive jar for a year and a half. I mean,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
not had any answers. Like, what are you special about? I get like what you have, but I mean, come on, like we're all trying to play a game here. Like, integrate yourself, or like don't be stupid about it. And I feel like that's what it is. But it's also a game, so I don't all the way look at it that way. I'm like, all right, I'll let it be what it is, and I'll play off of that. That's sort of how I look at it.
Chris, I got a question for you.
Huh?
Do you feel as though two people think alike?
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly alike. Exactly alike. I don't think they do. I think that your life, your experiences, things you've gone through is what actually the byproduct of your past life is how you presently think. Okay. And if someone hasn't gone through the exact same things that you have, I think you think differently. So where I'm going with that is like, I have a hard time associating this with Forrest Fenn. I was interested in Forrest Fenn's game, and this here seems like rough notes left to a third person to continue on off of just these notes, and they're making shit up off the notes. Like, I do believe that there is a thread that will lead into it that is associated, but this is a different game than what Forrest Fenn played. And it's like, I have a hard time connecting it. Like, I don't, this seems like, I don't think Forrest would have played this game. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I don't
I
think he'd
wouldn't.
be interested in this. I think this is something fabricated to a younger person to put out an idea or to lead into something, later. But it's like all through life, nothing really grabs my attention, and Forrest Fenn grabbed my attention. This year, I have not been able to get into it. I've tried and I can't do it. It's not at the level that Forrest was.
So maybe I have to like sort of build maybe the foundation of why it could be that way, why it would exist in the first place. Because there's not a single person in the search community that I can even point a finger to that it would have anything to do with yet on my own head. So I observe that as like a detective. I've slowly grasped upon the
Put
XTMS,
that back up for a sec, Brian.
Oh, okay.
and
Please.
then
Thank you.
I looked through the Labstertarium or whatever, the puzzle makers. I have profiled every single screen name that I could possibly think of to sort of associate, and that's what I did. I delegated all of my time since June or whatever, July, that this started popping up, to be like, all right, I see what's happening. And this stems from where I started at in 2014 of how I was trailing my whole entire ideas of things as well. The things that were coming up as I was doing Forrest Fenn, I would say almost mirror the things that are happening in stoof.com. So my POV, my point of view with it, is completely different than a lot of people's, and I try to emphasize that a lot whenever I talk, because all of my ideas are completely different from a train of thought you've probably already thought of, and it is.
I love that you are younger than me because, like I said, so like this is like the combination of new and old. All right. You're taking it as new, but do you know what I seen immediately when this popped off as an old?
What?
Check this out. I'll go into character for you. We'll paint a picture. Are you ready? Got my bandana on.
Mm.
This isn't a cowboy hat. You gotta, you gotta excuse me. An Amish man made this for me. All right,
Oh,
so
look at
check out underneath the rabbit here with the tomato on his back. You see it on the wall over here?
Yep.
Okay, look down below the cowboy hat.
Okay.
Underneath the cowboy hat, it's sitting on a head with a round circle on its neck. You see that? The round O?
Hold on. All right. You're gonna have
He's
to like.
mimicking stoof.com.
I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
the cowboy hat, it's sitting on a rock or whatever that is, like a snake head, and it's got a round circle on its neck.
Okay. I see that.
Yeah.
So,
You see, like that's what I associated with Forrest Fenn immediately when this popped up. I was like, oh, look, a hat, the
Well, that's
rock
Clark
on my
Gable's.
head.
That's Clark Gable's hat.
No, it don't matter. It's just
It
it's
don't. I'm just saying.
but it's got a round O on its neck. Well, is that
so
not this?
what in my head, if I saw that, what would it immediately make you think of, rather than it just being any, like, you see a red O and it's a cowboy hat? What would that be? What did you just put on your neck? What would that be?
But there was a whole emphasis on O, 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 that guy O that paid all that money for the pictures to be analyzed. There's been several hints throughout all the other creators about O and this and that. And it's like it's almost like subliminally implanted into us. Like we're going through a training process of some big, I don't know. I hate to say, science project, but it is. So,
Well, so if you like, I mean, if you've been in this a while and you take a step back and you look at the effort that people have put into this search, overall, even post Finn and pre treasure find from Jack, like, there have been people that have done really good work in as far as trying to stay on the level that they would be in with
yeah,
Forrest, right? They were not trying
yeah.
to go overstep or go
But
even
then
below.
that's a question of is it real or not, though? Is it a try hard? Is it just some unknown try hard that just is relentless in trying to make a point on his own agenda? Or is it actually associated? Because like
We
you and
don't
I could
know.
put something
That's
together
the thing.
and we
And
could
that,
put clues in there that would directly associate to it. Like the credenza right there, that means something to me. That makes me think that this is a Forrest Fenn thing with the credenza. And if you were watching Toby back in the day, like I offered to make Toby a credenza when he first got his house, and like with old barnwood that I collect. But yeah,
I mean, all of these things, we can find them somewhere, with the
oh
exception
yeah,
of like two, like a little whatever that thing is under the fireplace looking thing. But like, pretty much all these items we can trace back to Forrest in some degree, whether it be on a conspiracy or a belief level or a direct level. And the direct
well,
levels, they come straight back to scrapbooks, and then there's your belief level of what could that mean. All right, we got the scrapbook. We've already had the scrapbook. We didn't know what it mean then. So maybe he's trying to tell us what it means now by using another item that would be in the room to send us back to just a specific part of that scrapbook so that we can see maybe a trail of words that give us a different point of view of what's happening, right? He's trying to put people in the direction that he wants them to, because he's
so when you
high.
say he, who are you talking about?
Okay, so let me rephrase on he in a way. All right, so I think we are living under the spirit of Finn and a generality. So meaning, I think that he had this planned, whether he's Forrest, Finn, or anything that you want to believe. Whoever did this, they had this planned for a very long time, and they knew what they were doing, and they left it, they left things on the internet and then out in the world for us to go find so that we can connect it to them. It's a very, very long con, if you would say. It
No,
didn't.
I get you, and that's exactly what I was getting to. No, and it's fun. Like you could are these like cliche items? Are these well-known, talked about things that are being brought up that we all can associate to, or is there like Easter eggs in there that you know for a fact Finn is speaking through this?
So the way I would observe it is there's layers of surface items that you can observe and you can come up with a quick conclusion. All right, that brought me to this. Let's figure that out. All right, it means Mary, and then this means fucking George or whatever, right? That
Yeah.
does nothing. That does nothing for me. So what I got to do is I got to go and read this whole entire scrapbook and figure out what the hell Forrest is talking about in the first place. And there's so many things that he is talking about because he starts and he ends on the same level, but in between, it's 5 different stories that have no real relevance to the real world other than what we were trying to decode. So it's like it would be like if I was trying to file a lawsuit against a big corporate company and they're like, all right, you got me, but you're going to have to sift through the whole entire basement of files to figure out where it's at. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. He
So
put
you associate this directly to the scrapbooks.
I associate this directly to who Forrest Fenn was revealing overall. I do not believe that the 10 by 10 chest that Jack found, I think that was like chest 1. And then there is an actual vault that Forrest was associated with in the reality of life that he is hinting at under his breath for people to find. And he doesn't care if it happens now or he doesn't care about, but somebody figured this out while he was alive, and he's taking that person, whoever that is, to keep them as close as they can, just so they never separate themselves from where they are. And then everything else is a game. To me, all right. So Forrest was a gambling man. He was a betting man. He had there is absolutely nothing in my mind that can convince me that Forrest did not also have some sort of wager in the world of how this was going to end as well. In some way, whether it was an inheritance that he left to his family or while he was alive, he had predicted something to happen out of this. And then
So you said
whoever,
that you said he was is it okay that I interrupt like that sometimes?
absolutely, yeah, no, I'll
Yeah,
ramble.
because people's train of thought can hit 20 topics when I want to say something about the first one. You know what I mean? So
Jump in.
when you said like, you were saying like it reminded me of an algorithm, a personality algorithm to predict their next move. All right. Well, that is literally what military does, a testing. They test to see not what you can do, but what you potentially could do. So it's like it brought me back to his mother having foresight, because that's what we're talking about, right? Foresight.
Yeah, to see what's going to happen
Yeah.
already.
Well,
Foreshadow. Oh, absolutely.
so I'm going to
100%.
jump in real quick because you were talking about scrapbooks. So a lot of these items do refer to scrapbooks.
Yep. Yeah, so they're not just scrapbooks, but also things that are connected with Forrest Fenn through our community that we've created as a whole. So like
Yeah.
the side view mirror, right? It's just a regular side view mirror, but at the beginning of our conversation today, we were already introduced with the side view mirror of a scrapbook. So even though it's not the exact same, there is a scrapbook about a side view mirror that's the only one out there. So it's okay to assume something about a side view mirror may be in play in generality, whether it be a mirror or the right side or a car, whatever. And to me, it's like just taking those simplified items and then holding them so that way you can simplify everything else and see what it all means when it comes together. And
Yeah.
that's simply what it is. And I think that it's related to Finn because of what I'm finding and how I've spent the last decade of doing this and curating these theories and then coming up with different theories that are layered between that. And maybe
So here's a little theory I'll throw out there. So I've often wondered, okay, Stoof.com, the person that's created this little
Take it away,
puzzle,
Galaxy. I'm taking a break.
if you
I'll be
say,
back.
um, what if the person behind stoof.com has some answers that we don't have, but they do, are part of a group that has answers. And even the people in the group don't know that this person is speaking to the rest of us.
I mean, there's two ways that you can look at it with Stoof admin. Either they know exactly what's happening, or they are given a shopping list to go and make happen, like what is happening.
Yeah.
There's not another way. So I have interacted with Stoof admin before in DMs, and I have tried to sort of just peek into what is going on through the DMs, and just through observations, I can tell that they are given a set of information to put on here, and it is a very, very precise information that was picked out in a previous time and or added through Stoof admin's idea as well. There's a very, very, very precise delegation that is happening here that has a short leash on it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, here's my question. How many people do you think have conversations with Stoof admin other than Ben?
I
It
don't know.
seems like there seems like there's zero other
I
than
mean,
Ben.
I've had. I mean, I'm not like. I mean, there's other people that know that I've talked to Stoof admin, but I mean, this is stuff that I'm like, hey, trying to, hint. Like, I'm not like begging for a hint. It's more of like, hey, this is what this means, and then stuff just to see any reaction from them at all. I'm a salesman. I've been a used car salesman for 20 years, and
So are
that's
you
all.
getting much back from them?
I mean, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore at all. Not, I mean,
I've pretty much cut that off, right?
months, yeah. But that doesn't mean anything to me, that just because, I mean, they sit there and told me, oh, I might be giving you too much information. Like, I mean, I get that. Like, you're not, like, if you don't know what you're actually saying, then you could say something that is going to breach what I already think, because I am looking for something that you are going to say. Like, I'm playing the same game here, if you see what I'm saying. So I am like, all right, who is Stoof admin actually matter at all? All Stoof admin is giving data, and we don't know who can actually see chat at that point, right? It could be just some random username that's in chat that's sitting there watching everything, and we have no idea. And so that's all that it takes. So when you think of it in that game, like what advantage do we have? The advantage is to go and figure out how this works. We're clearly not able to get it on the surface. So let's create a little bit of imagination of what did we design while we were in the Forrest Fenn world, right? Like, and that's where I really start breaching in the DB Cooper stuff. Like, it became a topic while Forrest Fenn was alive that he pushed back, but also didn't. It was a spring. It was like, all right, I know how this works. I'm going to give them a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit. There's no way they can believe me because I don't have any proof, because no one found anything. I have all of the control. And
well, even Shiloh has joked about the whole DB Cooper question.
oh, Shiloh is, you have to think of Shiloh as like, I mean, he's part of Forrest. Like, he's not going to reveal anything if this is a game, right? He is going to let it play out the way that it needs to be if there's already a thing that's happening, right? If there's a reveal that's in process right now through some weird degree, whether it be JCB or Justin Posey or K-Pro or Ben or Stoof.com or anybody out there that is playing this game the same way that we are, there's clearly an opening to where a realization has happened. So something is going to be framed in real soon. And there's been countdowns that have constantly been, maybe let's say the promise has been broken, right? So it's clear that they're waiting on someone, but now it's clear that whoever that they're maybe waiting on has also realized, oh, maybe they're waiting on them as well. And then so now it's a process. Now it's a communication process.
Well,
And so
some of the updates have, so there hasn't been an update for what, over a month now?
yeah, something like that. It's been a while.
So the updates have gotten slower, right?
There's just less information to give out. It's all pretty much kind of there if you think about it. I mean, there's a
So why
lot
do
of
you think that is?
there, just like I said, this is because there has become a realization that all the stuff is there and that someone can sort of mold it together, and the other side of it has maybe caught wind of that somehow.
So you
And
think it's a waiting game? Like it's all here, guys. Figure it out, and they're just waiting.
yes and no. So I think that everybody is basically a spectator, with the exception of maybe a group of people that are actually playing the game and they've caught on. They figured out something that happened a long time ago and then realized it now, connected it through all of these alternate universes that were outside of the Fenn that funneled back in, and then realized, oh, all these things make sense. Like there's just, I think that there's a group of people that have been subtly communicating through Sooth.com to the other side, so that way they can figure out a plan of what is going to happen with the reveal. I think that it's way bigger than we think. That's
So,
how I.
so when you're talking
Like, what do
about,
you?
go ahead,
Sorry, bro.
Jason. Go ahead.
No, he's just got me intrigued because he's got an obvious direct belief path that he's going down.
Yeah.
What do you think the end game of this game is? Because do you think this is so when Forrest wrote the poem and he put the book out in 10, do you think this was part of that?
Yeah, so when he wrote the, all right, so here's what I think whenever the Thrill of Chase was written, the poem was written obviously before the Thrill of the Chase, but it was, he had a way to utilize the poem because of how it's set up, meaning like the words that are in it are very, very common words, so he could sort of do things with it. But when it got deeper, whenever there was an actual real cipher, when you got deeper into it, you would start seeing key words that would pop up, and it would be like something that completely directs you to a Forrest Fenn immediately. It's like a brainwash. And I've looked into
There
this.
you go. Good job. Thank you. Fuck, it took this long. Sorry for squaring on your show, Brian.
Oh no, you're fine.
This long, man.
So
my God.
But okay, so there's a difference in brainwashing people to do bad things, and then there's a difference in brainwashing people to see a path that you're trying to get them to through, like, maybe let's call it fun and games, right?
Here,
But
let's just say Texas Tech, guns up, triggered. Let's just say it. Let's say it for
Red
one
Raiders, baby, Red Raiders. No, I do. I just think that there's a
You
bigger
gotta drink, Chris. You gotta drink, Chris.
Yeah,
You have a drink.
I need a drink. I do. I need a drink.
So Chris, so you know how Ben, when he talks about Stoof admin, he says he always uses the word they.
Yeah.
Now they could be one person, or they could be a group. So what is your thought on that? Is it one? Is they one, or is they multiple people?
So I've come up with really two hypothetical situations. There could be two people that could be feeding Stoof admin information. One, it could be a lawyer that is a lawyer to another lawyer. There's a separation there. Okay. And then all the information that this big time lawyer has, that he has his little associate doing with the Stoof admin that knows how to curate websites. That's it. And then you have the other side of it, to where it's like there was just a lot of information that was left out, and then now it's being sifted through the family, and the family, the ultimate thing, what they can get out of this is a really good story, and then the other end of it is a very like prominent producer that's waiting for a story to be told. What really happened, right? Netflix is on hold the same way that we're on hold with everything else. And so if there is an actual development of a story that's happening that we don't know about, maybe that on the other end of that, like Dana Brunadetti or whatever that dude's name was that curated all the XTMS, he just popped out of nowhere like it was nothing. This dude has been side by side with some of the biggest celebrities on the planet, and he's producing this low-level XTMS podcast to give away 50 grand cash that just disappeared. Like, I get it, maybe he backed out because it was a bad business deal, but it really wasn't, because maybe it was something that Fenn set aside so that it could happen, depending on if it catched on. Fenn, he was a fisherman, man. He was just trying to lure shit in. And this dude had resources way more than we do. These guys are sitting on a $5 million house like it's nothing. Like, they're not, like, Shiloh's just living in it, sending shit out of it from fucking to people that are buying shit off eBay. He's having the time of his life because no one's gonna buy this house.
So what is the significance of 50 grand? Because that's repeated a lot throughout the chase. 50 grand, 50 grand, 50 grand.
I mean,
Have you noticed that at all? Like,
yeah, I mean, 49,000 feet elevation, when he talks about 50,000 feet is where your blood starts boiling. It's a pretty prominent thing in page 97 and The Thrill of the Chase.
you have been around for a while, man.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good.
Oh, I'm not joking, man, dude. This is what I live and breathe. I'm telling you, I literally created my lifestyle so that I
That's why I say Shiloh.
could.
Shiloh's here.
Yeah, it's it's just
What's so
something.
special today there, Shiloh?
Well, I don't have any answers.
Mhm.
Not yet.
So well, I'm not even going to use that word because it's over fucking played. So to go back, we established that it was a he, and I'm just using your words. He was used a lot here, and then it was a they. So like, are you just that's that detective thing? Like,
Yeah,
and I enjoy what you said earlier. Like, you don't put limits on your compass, right? Like you look at every single possibility, good or bad, from the beginning to the end, the very end, the very worst from the very best possibilities. And I agree with you. Like, everything is a possibility. Nobody knows anything. So
it's all really subjective until like there is like enough to where somebody is convinced, right? You know, until everybody's
I
like,
love that you use the word convinced.
yeah. And
Sold.
that's my thing though, is like, because all right, so here's how I play it out, right? So all right, I'm gonna tailor into a little bit of DB Cooper. It's not Forrest Fenn DB Cooper, but let's say, all right, little Brian Ingram, the kid that found the money off the side of the Columbia River back in 1980. Okay, so if I am a conspiracy out of this, so I build the story off of this. I assume that money was planted there, and I assume that the family had some sort of inkling that the money was going to be there. I can go way back into the history of why, but I'm just gonna leave that on the surface.
They went looking for it.
They knew it was going to be there because someone told them that it was there, and they played it as a whole story. What
Oh,
I
yeah.
what I think could have happened is that they could have not had anything to do with whoever told them where it was, and they could have created a way better story out of that. They could have been like, already had like, hey, I'll turn, because I don't know how it happened, but what I am thinking that little kid could have done is predicted the future in a way. He could have made a crazy fucking story and predicted the whole entire future in some weird way, just by planting, knowing that money was planted there before anybody else had found. You have an absolute insane story right there. And they did not.
Just the fact that a kid found it leaves question, because a kid is unpredictable. They're easily influenced by anything. You know what I mean? So like, just the fact that a kid found it gives so many scapegoats if the story don't click. You see, like, I personally think, oh, I don't even want to go to that level, but I'm saying that all the legendary treasure hunts, I mean, we can go all the way back to Ness, we can go Knights of the Golden Circle, we could, all of them. I think all of them at some level were fake. And all of them together are trying to tell you something.
Oh, yeah. I think that's exactly what Forrest was trying to do. He was
Yeah.
trying to take if you look at it as like
How
Douglas,
fake is history? Bottom
Yeah.
line.
He wants to have the best treasure hunt ever. Like, that was his goal. Is like, if you go back and read I don't know, I don't verbatim, but whatever. He was like, hey, you heard fucking Captain Kidd, you heard of this, you heard of the Treasure Island. Like this is like I'm like that's what I'm trying to integrate with. And I think that he used a little bit from everything that was
Yes, yes,
history out there to convince us that hey,
yes.
man,
And
I have something to tell
and
you.
the best part is William Shatner has that like mystery show on Netflix, and you watch it, and Douglas Preston has an episode in there. Like, yes,
Oh,
it's hilarious.
and you know when the DB Cooper episode aired, right? On Unsolved Mysteries, what year it
I
did?
I go ahead.
1988.
Yep.
So I
No,
mean,
and I agree. He took all the legends, put them all together.
so like there are a lot of things that have happened since the pretty much the internet has been around. It's been pretty much saturated. A lot of the stuff that has happened we may have not seen as well because of how much happens on the internet. But I do believe that Forrest overall and what we're gonna see as a big picture at a reveal is plenty more than just DB Cooper. Like I think DB Cooper is maybe like a headliner at a concert type thing if we're talking about that. But we have a whole lineup here going on of things that are going to be revealed that are not revealed yet. And
So
that's
you,
part.
so do you remember people talking about back in the 40s when that Mars attacks? Alien?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So they made laws. They made laws for broadcasting. The FCC did. How you cannot influence the public in a certain way because the nation went in uproar thinking aliens were coming, you know? And it's like people don't realize that when you're streaming, you are not technically by uh, the how am I trying to say it? Like the way the law is written, and that's why all these boundaries are being pushed right now, with everything. The boundaries are being pushed because of the words that and the legal definition of each word. So like
Yeah.
right now, streaming doesn't fall underneath that broadcasting. So they can literally lie about everything on a stream.
That's so crazy.
Okay. Yeah, because that law, you're not broadcasting a signal, you're going through light on fiber. So it's a whole different thing. And it's new enough, those laws aren't applied yet. So it's like you can lie, you could do whatever you want. Trump jumped in office about the time when this really got popped. I would say Trump is still president. I don't believe that Biden even is president. We don't know. I don't know. I've never shook the man's hand. You see what I mean? We could be influenced through the net to the extreme. And it's funny because the chase went hand in hand with politics.
Oh yeah. It
And I've
really
always
did.
found that very interesting how it followed politics. And
I
it's
mean,
what you're getting to is like the ultimate lie, how we've been lied to.
well, I mean, you have a pot of gold at the end, and then the only way to get there is through subjective evidence, and it creates two or three or even sometimes more different parties that are like, all right, like it's I don't know. That's just like he already knew that would happen, and I think that he didn't maybe see it in the extreme way, but I don't know. He obviously was able to say something that got everybody to move in the exact same direction in one single area while he was able to observe the rest very easily. And I think that he was able to look at the negative that
No, it's all interesting. It's just I don't know. And this is all speculation.
way. Oh
It
yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, my goal is as far if I could bring anything to the community, it's to breathe in belief in them to that there's like, whether you want to believe in Santa Claus or the fucking Easter bunny, that Finn I don't know, maybe my whole purpose to be here is to help Finn continue to breathe a life into y'all because there is to me, I'll be if I have to be the only one, I'll sit here and tell you direct to your face that yeah, there's something way, way, way bigger out there. And I know everything about it, but I'm not going to tell you everything about it I need you to believe in it for it to actually happen, right? Like you got to think of the whole entire the circumstances that surround this whole entire thing that nobody has even thought of. What if what ifs? What if this was there? And
Oh
then
yeah, no, I agree
where
with
it's and then where it's at. Like there's going to be a controversy with that as well, where it was precisely placed. Like there's going to be parties. This isn't like just Discord. This isn't YouTube. This isn't Thor or Chase Chat or Dow. It's none of that. It's like whenever it becomes real, it's like, oh, that's mine. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. And then it's going to become that. And so as a community, to avoid all of that, because we've already went through that, we share it in a way together through, like I said, right? If there is a like a Dana Brudetti on the other side that is a big production, or there is a lawyer that has the information, all they need is the story. That's it. They just need the story to tell.
I just
And
think there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
I mean, whether it be too many Chiefs or Indians, it's really just more of people collaborating to believe that Forrest Fenn is just smarter than they were. That's it. Like it's not like we can call it rocket surgery. I use that a lot, but it's like I mean, it's simply like I mean, the first direction that you get in the poem off of the fucking first clue is down. Like, why would you go up? And that's how I look at it. I'm like, that's where my first line of thought comes in when it comes to like thinking in logical terms of why would I go up if I'm telling to go down? Like I don't know if there's a fucking canyon. What canyon are you talking about? Telling me to go down though, and I'm looking at a map. Why would I go up if I'm at a map? Like I don't know. And
Because you're looking down on the map. That's why.
yeah, so I don't know. And you know, this is of course, you know, a long time of things that I've thought about and dreamed about and you know acted upon. But no, I mean I'm a definitely a regular searcher. I've had plenty of boots on the ground. I've I've deliberately played stoof.com. I haven't
What's the
emerged.
most extreme boots on the ground you've done? Like
So
extreme, where it pushed you to the limits.
really? All right. So
Yeah.
I got one. This I have a couple. All right. So one boots on the ground. I had me and my mother. We drove from Oklahoma City to Colorado City, Colorado. And a 10-hour drive. We ended up getting there at like 2:30 in the morning. We wanted to get there in the middle of the night because we found a bunker on a golf course that was in the shape of an F. And we and started digging in the middle of the night while nobody was on call.
With your
Yeah,
mother?
with me and my mom. Yeah,
She's
she was
holding the
probably
flashlight while you're shoveling away.
no, she was keeping watch for me. It was
Oh,
like
funny.
yeah. So yeah, it was in this little weird area in Colorado City. If you go look on a map, there's this little like a pizza shop and a BF Goodrich and like a little gas station. And so, but the golf course, it's a Holly Dot golf course, and it's separated. And I had just gotten to this thing where I was like, oh, it's down there, it's in there. And this was in like 2015. So yeah, we drove all the way up there, and we drove back the next day. There was nothing there, but as we were pulling out, we saw another spot. It was literally like 100 feet away, and we're like, all right, we're coming back next weekend. And so she didn't come back with me next weekend, but I came back the next weekend, and I started digging under this little, you know, those little
The craziness hit at that point, right? Mom said,
yeah,
let's get crazy.
craziness. And I dug up a cactus in front of this fucking mechanic shop, and I felt so bad. And but they had this you know, in Indiana Jones when they're going through the little rail tunnels, those little mine carts. It was sitting in front of those BF Goodrich, and I matched it up to the cart that Forrest Fenn has in his that he has those big, you know, wagons that he's in his yard. And so I started digging under that. And dude, I dug under that thing all night.
Oh my God.
My metal detector kept picking up the rocks, and it was just like, this is stupid. And so I gave up after that and started a whole different whiteboard of shit.
Isn't that gold fever just something else? I mean,
No, it's the thrill of the chase.
but that's what it was though. The lure was gold.
Yeah, I think so. I okay, so here's how I got started, right? I got lured in pretty good. I have kids, and so me and my kids were, it was we didn't have anything to do, and we're like, hey, I think we just watched something on Netflix about treasure hunting. So we're like, we'll go find something to do in Oklahoma treasure hunting. We're gonna go down to this little mountain range in Oklahoma that has a long time ago gold panning and their little rivers down there. So we're gonna go do that. Well, it started raining that day, and I come across Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt, is Thrill of the Chase, and I ordered it. And me and my kids, we read it pretty much whenever it came in. I ordered off Amazon,
Yeah.
and we read it. And I gave my son the dust cover to take to school, and he never brought it back. But he went to school and he was like, "Hey, we're going on this treasure hunt." And I never got to take my boys on boots on the ground out to Colorado, but I did take my daughter out there, and that was our first boots on the ground that I sent Forrest Fenn a picture of. And then, but I moved on from Colorado, and then just kind of started looking at other things. And I've been to Telluride, I've been to Colorado Springs.
Attaboy. There you
All
go.
of them. Yeah, I
Isn't it
spent.
fun that Jack was talking about IKEA and we're talking about Telluride now?
I mean, I work for Hyundai, so
Yeah. I
yeah,
got my Hyundai right there.
yeah. Okay. So like, maybe if you go on, are you on Discord?
No.
You're not? Okay. So I post on Discord a lot, but like, all right. So my keyword that I use for the Force Spin Hunt is the word auto. I use it because it simplifies a car, it simplifies a ride, it simplifies a drive, simplifies horsepower,
A
gasoline,
vessel.
all of it,
Yep.
everything,
Yep.
auto. It automatically gets you there, and you take a donkey into the canyon, whatever.
Yep.
Automobile gets you there. And so I use that word as a key reference. And so anytime you're going to come up with a car reference, or even bullet, or getting somewhere in an automated way, I believe that's why he used
Yep.
autobiography,
Yep.
even though it's kind of
Yeah.
bullshit right now. But I think that's why he said it, just to get the point across that, hey, this is fucking auto, y'all. Just do it.
You're an interesting fellow. I enjoy talking to you, Chris. I appreciate you being on here.
I appreciate it. Oh man, dude, this is my first time ever being on live too, by the way.
Yeah, no, you're doing
Well,
great.
you've done some live stuff on your own.
I don't know what to call it live.
So-
It was more of pre-recorded, just
Yeah.
jargon that I'm just sitting here mumbling as I'm playing.
Yeah, yeah.
My warm waters halt, though, I still don't know why anybody hasn't asked me about that. It's the craziest stuff that I've seen so far within it, and I don't care about
Hey,
it.
Chris, do you mind sharing what is your where warm waters halt?
Okay, so I have, all right. Let me explain something to you on how I think. All right, there is not just like one warm waters halt. This thing is a Russian nesting doll. Okay, so you have,
Oh, listen to you.
yeah, you
No,
have,
that's on Santa Fe. That's right down the street from the bookstore.
yeah, it's,
That's
I
a
mean,
shop right there.
what is?
The Russian dolls.
Oh,
The
it
gold-
is.
Yeah.
It's simply layered. So I'm guesstimating in my head that Forrest Fenn had a spot already picked out, and he built off of that. So whatever data included, whether it was a terrain, everything that identified and attributed to that terrain, it
We're
initially
talking
funneled
about
up.
an onion.
Yes, 100%, a blooming onion. And so if
Texas
he,
Roadhouse.
ooh, where are you at?
Don't
in
you
Iowa.
worry about it, Chris.
In Iowa.
Don't you worry about it.
Yeah. No, I like, dude, their rolls are so good. Chicken
Yeah.
fried steak, I'm good on it too. No, it's but no, my warm waters haul. All right, I have a Colorado. It's not a Colorado solve. I start in Colorado. Okay.
Yep.
So Colorado's a state. He didn't mention it a lot. I'm gonna use all the data in that. I found a spot. It's at about 10,200 feet elevation. It's Lake Como. Ben's used it before. It is the very, very beginning of Lake Compadre, right? It is the lake.
Did you say Lake Como?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Hey,
and
Brian.
and it's kind of hard to find, but
That's
it's
what
just
Columbia is. It's called Como.
I know.
But it's also it can also be manipulated as a word too, como, and you can use it in Spanish, and then you can just start doing things with it. But that doesn't mean anything. All it does is give you a set of data. So when you follow that river where Lake Como starts, it's going to bring you into a whole world that's in Narnia, and then you got to pick stuff apart from there, and then you do it again.
Narnia. I like that one.
Yeah, it's an abyss, but it's not. It can be easy. Sure, it's easy to get to the bottom of things if you're smart about it, but if you're like distracted, it's not. And that's as simple as it is. If you're distracted, you can't focus on what you
At
need.
what point did you stop jumping in the car and doing random solves and say, I've had enough of that. Now I'm going to sit here and open my mind and actually think?
So I found a property in Telluride, Colorado, it stood out. It was very unique. And so at this point in my searching, I was looking through county assessor data. I am going through property records. I am looking at deeds. I am going pretty far deep into ownership. If you look in the poem, the very first line is a set of basically idea. This is what's happening. I went alone in there, blah, blah, blah. But at the end, it's deed. So in my head, I'm looking for a deed. And so I am I like county assessor. I just like going out and getting free data that you just can't see everywhere that you can. So I'd go into Telluride and find people that are celebrities and look at their properties and then just see how much they paid for them and then see what their mailing address was for no reason. Not that I needed to do anything, but I was like, hey, that's cool. I know where Brad Pitt.
Creepy bastard.
Yeah, whatever. I can find data. But I found a property and it's a small community. It's outside of Telluride. It's a box canyon. Telluride's a box canyon. Okay, it ends and it's just nothing but rich people there. But at the very end of it, before you get to it runs through the river, there is as a community. It's called Pandora, and it's slashed out of and it's nothing but rich people. Well, I found a property there. It was called the Idorado Legacy Company, and they had annexed a bunch of land through there, and they partitioned it off at like 2 acres a piece for fucking $2 million for 2 acres type thing. So people that were buying it were rich. Well, I found one parcel that had bought a $1.5 million piece of land in this Pandora, and it had this weird name, and it was an LLC. And that weird name stuck out to me because I started Googling this name. I had fucking spent goddamn a whole month trying to figure out where this name had come from. I couldn't find it. I'm able to find Brad Pitt's home address, but I cannot figure out where this name come from. So I took it as because I was led there. I was led there through a series of things that I can't even explain through right now that would have to be
We
explained
have
in a
all
story.
experienced that same guidance.
Yeah. And so, well, it turned into an anagram, and the anagram led me to where I am now. That's 100% of what happened. So I stopped and I halted Colorado when I found this actual parcel of land that meant absolutely nothing. And it was a series of letters that, didn't necessarily click with vowels and consonants together. Like it was there. How did no one see this? And I started tracing the path as if I was like an FBI guy. Like I'm calling, like, who is this? We don't know who that is. Like,
wait a minute, FBI? What about CIA?
Yeah, right. So I figured that this thing was part of the plan. Like I was like, all right, well, did I find something that maybe Forrest had left behind? I don't know what the resources he has. And so I just went along with that, and I figured out that from then on, the next thing that I did was this sounds stupid, but it's actually true, and I love saying it because it is dumb. But I went into Dollar Tree and I fucking found, I'm not even joking, a whole entire case of Tootsie Roll Pops, and I started finding the little Indian that was shooting the fucking star on the Tootsie Roll Pops, and I had anagrammed the name of this lawyer out in like Philadelphia or something. I started mailing him these Tootsie Roll Pops to see if I could get a reaction out of him. And
So
Are you
you
kidding
can't.
me?
I was here. I was like, there's no way that this guy's going to respond to me out of a fucking Forrest Fenn clue. Like, what is so what can I do? And I had went through this whole series of like, all right, well, maybe Forrest Fenn was talking about Tootsie Roll Peppers. I came with this idea. I'll send these to him. He has to respond. He has to. I'm gonna make sure he signs for this shit. I went and found, I'm not even joking, probably 25 whole fucking Tootsie Roll Peppers, papers of every color. And then I sent it to this lawyer that is a lawyer now for New York University. And I didn't watch it, but I knew that he signed for it. I knew that he got it, but I never heard from it. But then I found a different anagram within it and it led me somewhere else. And so that's kind of where I'm at now.
Okay, take a breather, buddy. Isn't it? So we started our conversation tonight talking about like frequencies and
Yes.
spirit, right? And it's awesome because you literally just identified your own spirit being led by frequency. And I want to know who the man is that's broadcasting that frequency individually to each one of us to go on that chase.
I mean, that's a hell of a question. Once you like think and believe that it's possible, then I mean, does it really matter until you figure out why they want you to not know in the first place?
So I know that there's knot tires in this chase that are pros at tying knots, and it's fun watching them, because that's all they do. They just want to tie you in a knot, tie you in a knot, tie you in a knot, tie you in a knot. And I probably shouldn't go too far into that one, but no, it's just your story, and it's just watching your expressions on your face and just your enthusiasm on the kick that you're on, that soapbox. And yeah, it's like you're being led. So do you believe that there was actually Easter eggs planted? Like you're like, oh my God, this is too big of a coincidence. Somebody put this here for me to find.
I mean, I can give you a real life story that proves it.
Yeah, so you do. So yeah,
Yeah,
someone was
absolutely.
leading you on.
I mean, I've told the story before, but no, I literally used a fabricated social security number that I found inside of a movie, and I used that to get a check that was made out to a different person that I created an identity by a social.
I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. So
I'm
let me
like,
tell
what?
you how. All right. So what I did was I had I had this inkling that there was just I don't know. I this is when I used the word auto to create my little cipher in the poem. And at this point I had started researching. I found dead people that had social security numbers in their index still, okay? And I was researching this and all this, and I ended up getting
Hang on a minute. Maybe we should stop live.
go ahead.
Well, no, it's just
No,
we're
no, no.
talking about
There's nothing about this that's going to be implications on
I'm just
whatever.
messing with you, Chris.
Yeah. No, and if it does, I'll take the heat because it's fun. But all right. So and I'll put it short. I'll give you the short story. So I watched the movie, and in the movie, there was a 9-digit number in that movie. I took that 9-digit number and I turned it into a social security number. And then I associated that social security number with the name. And what I did was I took that name that I found in a government treasury unclaimed property website. And I took that name and that fabricated social security number and I matched them up through this cipher that I decoded through the poem. And I sent it in to the government and I was like, this is me. And they sent me a check with a
and you wonder why I don't tell you what fucking state I live in.
with the verified right. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just giving you tidbits of things that I have sort of left as breadcrumbs across and why I'm even here. This is definitely my my first time coming on live as far as like expelling some of these things, but they are extremely true to their nature that people that are close to me have observed with me before and are still, their jaws are still on the fucking floor. And I say that loosely because I mean it's true,
Yeah,
but mean it to be that way. What I'm saying is that I was able to take a pattern that I saw that Fenn was attributing through talking out of both sides of his mouth, creating a fake social security number, using it with a completely other identity that he gave me through a cipher, matching them together
X
to get
marks the spot.
a government check. Is that you? That's where you're at?
So it's funny because we're talking about salting the field. That means Easter eggs. Somebody's planting something in front of you. They got that foresight. Would that not, and so they're creating, I don't want to say the word algorithm, but they're creating, a programmer is the same as a writer, like Douglas Preston. Okay, so like, are we talking about our individual writers of our story?
Um, yeah, that's the thing. Like, dude, I've never touched these people. And as far as like my intuition, I I mean, these people are way more profound on things than I've ever even thought of doing.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what the resources that they have, but I assume it's far more than what I have.
Oh
And if
yeah.
you had the resources that they have,
Every
you're just
color of the rainbow, my friend. You're just passing through each individual one.
yeah. I mean, I would do stupid things that were fun and crazy if I had, insane resources, but I'm just an old dude from fucking Oklahoma. Like, I'm out here to have fun and try and find answers with everybody and have a good time. That's important to me. But I think there's a story. I think it's a big story, and I'm here to help tell it. That's it. And whether I know or or anybody else knows, it's really just more of collaboration, getting people to understand that maybe that there could be something crazier out there for us to attach to that we're not seeing it, so that we can get out of this mellow stagnant situation that we're in within the community, because there's something there is.
No, no, in the world.
Yeah.
Who cares about the community? I'm saying in society.
Yeah, I mean, we can only have so much control when it comes to society, but when it comes to our community and the development and these people that we have mingled with and we have thought about for the past, God, how long we cared about more people in this community than we have in our real world sometimes. And so I think that if we can like somehow foundation it that way and
You
some,
guys are like my only friends. Come on now.
I
Like,
know,
you know what I
right?
mean? In real life, it's like, no, it's a lifestyle. It's not just,
Well, so I didn't get a chance to jump in. I didn't want to. You all were doing some good talking. But you talk about the frequency and the spirit. Well, Jason, you know a little bit about my story. Chris, I think I've shared a little bit with you since we've gotten to know each other. But, when my chase started, I didn't realize at the time that it was going to be a spirit thing that happened. I
you
didn't know that. But man, it didn't take me long to realize, oh,
know?
I know exactly what's going on now.
And I
Rather
think that's
than
precisely why Pam is involved right now, because she was all about that back in the day. She wrote articles.
very possibly.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why Forrest chose her.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm I feel you. It's
Now, if we could only have that same faith that you were talking about, and that same, it's turned into a religion. It stimulates us. It keeps us going. It pulls us through hard times. It pulls us through, you know what I mean? It pulls us through life. And it's like, but it's based on greed, on gold. That's where it all started. Gold was the lure he used. And it's like, I think that's where your devil song comes in with the whole
Sympathy for a devil.
Stoop.com. Yeah. It's like everyone is following, and that's where I go, the Hopi tribe. There's two paths that a man will take in his life. You got the short, easy path, and you got the one that's less traveled, the hard path. And it's, if anyone's ever watched the Hopi prophecy, they should look it up, read it. It's awesome, phenomenal.
Well, it's like, so just like that in everyday life. I work with somebody who loses their mind every time they turn around.
Yeah.
But yet I can go through every single day of the week without blowing a gasket
Yeah.
because I'm like, what's the purpose for me to lose my gasket?
Because every night on YouTube, you're pushed to your limits, right?
But it's
To your
no,
wits
not even
end
that.
every night.
That doesn't even bother me. It's like going to World Series of Fenn. I didn't participate in anything that was nefarious. I listened to it, but I wasn't going to participate in it. That's just not
I
who I
saw
am.
you on the titty bar bus. Don't you give me no shit.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't get on the
the.
I did not get on the pole, but they tried to get me to get on the pole, but I did not get on the pole.
Uh-huh.
But but that's just the way I am. I'm always an optimistic type person. I always look on the brighter side. I don't try to look on the negative side of things because once you start doing that negative thing, it's not going to get better for you. So why even go down that road?
Oh my
Stay
God.
stay on the
Right
positive.
there. Right
What?
there, the positive and the negative. You would not know what positive was unless you acknowledge the negative.
Okay, so I didn't say I'd never been down the negative road.
So you know what it is. So that's your
Yeah.
threshold marker.
Well, I'm a Gemini too.
Yeah,
So I know what that negative side can be.
exactly. And that's why you force yourself to stay positive and not blow up because you know bad can get real bad real quick.
Well, it's not that it can get bad, it's just that
Your evil twin, Brian. Come on. I saw pieces of your evil twin before.
it's just well, that's going to happen anyway. But I am one of those people, they used to call me spark plug when
Yeah.
I was young because you back me into the corner, I'm going to back myself up. I don't care how
I
big or small you are.
I've spent personal time with him riding in a car for a few hours and hanging out in a hotel and stuff. And he is quite the little spark plug. He really is. We had fun though. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the shit out of that trip, man.
Oh yeah. Well, I've told you that I want to I still want a bunch of us searchers to get together, have some
I'd love
fun.
to hang out with Chris. Look how
Go
crazy he is, man.
go out west.
He is like one of the new age crazy. Like the old crazies I've already dealt with. Now it's like a new age one with computer skills. Like,
Hey, I'm coming in hot.
yeah, you are. Fucking right, you are. Like, it's awesome. No, I appreciate you. And you said a lot of good stuff there, man. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm just here. I'm just doing whatever we can do to have fun and find answers. Honestly, like,
I personally don't see what there is to gain at this point. I mean, my personal feeling on everything that's going on right now is that there was people assigned to a very long stall tactic in order to go to the next phase, the next level of it. And you're in the heart of the next level. I was in the heart, like, I can't switch like that. You know what I mean? And it's like,
uh,
I refuse to because, yeah, how,
Jars. There are jars out there, people.
yeah, and that's cool and stuff. Well, when those jars are out there, I would love to also at the same time see the existing jars that were sitting on the desk to make sure those aren't the ones that are placed out there now.
Sorry, Shiloh keeps interrupting. I've been trying to keep him quiet over there, but
I think we need to hear from Galaxy. I'm gonna go out and
Galaxy
walk my
jumped. He's
tree.
already
I gotta
gone.
pee real quick too. I'm gonna be right back. Hold on.
Oh, you got a solo, my friend.
Go ahead.
No, you have a
I
solo.
know, I know. I
We're
said,
peeing.
you all go ahead. Now I get to talk.
Yes. Sorry.
Hey, everybody in the chat. How you doing? Sorry, it's been list. I had Chris on. He's a kind of he's not a new searcher, but he's new on YouTube. But he goes by Hammer Time. He's got a couple of videos out there. Check him out. He's a disc golf player. We met up and played some disc golf. He's much better than I am. But yeah, it was we had a lot of fun, and that's what I take out of all this community that I've come to know is I just enjoy interacting with people. That's basically where I stand. I try to stay positive and not go down the negative road. But yeah, Chris is pretty much into stoof.com a lot. And I'm not that much. If I have some thoughts or something, I'll shoot them to him because I know he's going to run with them more than I will. So Whitney says, I've been listening to Speakeasy for a bit, but it sounds like we should be paying attention to stoof.com. Explain that. Was something mentioned on Speakeasy? Yeah, I seen where Ben was going to do Speakeasy, but I don't normally take part in those. It's been a while. Like I said, I haven't even been live for probably, oh gosh, 2 months, maybe 2 months, I guess. Um, I've just been so busy, I just haven't had time. I just wanted to get together with a few of the searcher friends and kind of say hi and kind of see their faces because I haven't seen them for a while. Do a little catch up. Um, like I said, Chris was new on here, so and like I said, he's a big stoof.com guy.
Stoofy stoof.
Yeah, Whitney's in the chat.
Oh, Whitney in the house?
He said, I've been listening to Speakeasy for a bit, but it sounds like we should be paying attention to stoof.com. Ben just harped on it in quite a bit.
Let's harp on old stoof.com, you think?
He's Ben's gonna harp on stoof.com because he's got the inside to Stoof admin. I mean, come on, let's be honest here.
Do you play stoof.com too much? Do you?
Do I?
Yeah.
No.
How did you hear about, how long have you been on Discord?
I didn't join Discord till December. I knew about stoof.com because I
Wait,
got an
what?
email about stoof.com. So I was doing a
Yeah, I
live,
knew you knew about Stoof. So hold on, you joined Discord in December though?
no, January.
All right, so Jane.
Yeah. But so Ben and I both received emails. I believe it would have been June 28th. So I assume that he's probably got the same email that I did. Stoof admin was on the call. Haha, obviously wasn't talking though. Interesting. Well, no wonder he was talking it up so much.
Oh, they were on Stoof admins on Speakeasy.
That's what Whitney says.
What's going on in hang on. That's two different channels. Okay. I ain't even gonna throw, I don't know. Let's see if I can hear it. I'm good. That's a lot of drama sometimes.
Well, every time I'm on Speakeasy, it's already stuff I've already heard, or they're just they reharp the same thing but in different language. And it's like, am I supposed to get what they're talking about? Are they talking in code? That's where I'm just kind of I'm done
So
with that's where I'm kind of done with all this, Chris.
yeah,
Because
so like there's like, all right, so let's talk about that for a minute then. I guess what about like, all right, we're talking in code, but should we put a label on like how that how like, I mean, all right, obviously Ben can be the most neutral suspect person in the entire world at this point.
right.
Like you can say he is Forrest Fenn, or you can say he's just a regular searcher and nothing is going to change in the world. But like, are there others that maybe we could label?
Oh, besides Ben, are you
Yeah.
talking like Alan Kelly?
I mean, I don't suspect Alan too much, but he, I
Oh,
mean,
I
he could,
do.
I,
Oh, I
he could,
do.
he plays the I don't know what's going on pretty good when it comes to everything else, and he's pretty good with DB Cooper. I could tell you that, and so I love him for that. But I mean, he's obviously like not all in on Stoof.com because he's constantly questioning of what's happening.
Isn't
So
that a cue? Isn't
I don't
that
know.
like
I
the
don't know.
best disguise is to isn't that like a Toby saying, "Oh, Forrest didn't like me"? Like that
That's
and
the
he's a
thing.
social media manager in Silicon Valley.
That could be like the coincidence of it too. We're talking the negative aspects of things in ways to where it can like your brain gets mushed to thinking about the wrong thing when it really doesn't matter because they're like in place to be there, but they're not doing necessarily any harm other than getting it stirred up. But we're also claiming to play a waiting game, and so I don't understand how it all jives. So if we look at them as a suspect person, then how are they? What is it that they are being suspect about in the long run that
I
makes
didn't
them?
say it was in a bad way. I'm just
No,
saying
I'm sorry.
I like Alan Kay. I think he's great.
I guess I meant like
Oh
some
yeah.
people when they say like suspect, they get like almost triggered to where they think that they're doing it to make it out of like a lie. Like when you hear the word lie, it's just a bad thing. But when we can, like when we insert lie into this, it's in a game, so we need it to be part of the puzzle for it to work, sort of thing.
Like K Pro's pushing the red button, pushing the button. Is that not trigger? I want to trigger people.
Yeah, yeah, it's just getting people to react. I do it all
Hey,
the time.
can that go? Could that alone be the evil that Forrest was talking about? She's put in play to trigger people.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that she could be there because she, like, whether she knows that she is not, she obviously has an attribute that she's consistent at that maybe Finn saw that he could use for her to be a part of the puzzle.
So when you use the word "not" right there, do you spell that with a K or an N?
With what?
When
I
you
didn't.
just said "not" with K Pro, like, do you spell that with a K or just an N?
I'd give
I
her.
totally spell it with a K because she is the K Pro. She is the one that ties knot. Colonel Mustard's bolo tie. All right, it's a
Oh yeah.
K on his neck. I totally. She is the pro at tying knots.
Oh, I
Marketing.
I try to read her. I don't watch her a lot because I mean she talks a lot, but you know, I respect for the effort that she puts into this entire chase. That effort that goes so much is the effort I don't put in, but I'm also like I curated my life to be around this and I still don't put that effort in. So I judge that and on my own perspective to be like, okay, what could she be there for based on the effort she's putting in? And
Yeah.
so I keep that in my head to where like, all right, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be sus, but I mean, maybe you just have more effort than I, you care more about things than I do for other people. So I don't know. And so it's hard to
I
like,
oh sorry. I was gonna say I have a feeling at the end of all this, it could be 10 years from now. I think there'll be like one big documentary on everything and all the roles that were played throughout this whole thing and what the grandness was of it. And it's all about leading the masses. Are you okay with leading the masses? That's the bottom line question, right? Well, I kind of am because if I know something that they don't, is that not a parent-child relationship? You lead your children, right? So it's like, but at the same time, it's just really hard for me to see people get lured in at the level that they do, where it takes over their life and they follow that rider of their destiny because they think that their mind is exploding with like, I'm onto something, I'm onto something, and you neglect everything else that's around you. It's and it's just leading down that path is what I don't agree with.
I mean, it happens in a lot of parallels too. Like, and I mean, drama gets stirred up in real life through watching the real wives of Orange County.
Watching anything,
Yeah. It's
you
so
know,
it depends on how smart you are about, with the stuff you're working with.
Wait a
yeah,
minute. You just brought up Orange County in a way that's code to me. Are you
I mean,
talking
I had to
code?
think about the actual title of the show, but I'm thinking of like the most drama show in my head, which is the real.
Okay, I'm just checking. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that Jason hasn't mentioned your shirt with the goat on it.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
seen it the second he showed up, and I think he wore it intentional because I had one on the last time that.
Oh, did you?
I'm a scrub right now. This is not intentional. I wish I could look better. This is a dispensary shirt, I think, or something. I don't know.
So you know what's interesting, and I'm gonna give part of the way that I think. All right, everything I've said has been bullshit. All right, like honestly, I just wing it. That's what tonight was gonna be about, right, Brian? Wing it.
We got
Agree.
Shiloh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in the poem, it says the highlighted area, right? On the little phrase below it. Did you know? Oh, and some of the people that had a tragic end or whatever, or gone to jail or whatever, they've got orange, orange, orange. Okay.
Yep,
And
you're right.
isn't it fun that there is no such color of orange? There's no such color. So we could get into the painter side of how to create the color orange. And it's nothing but dulling the color of brown is the definition of orange.
Yeah.
Like the highlighted area. So you brighten the darkened spots. You take the brown and you brighten it up in order to make orange. So it's like that's how I think about it. And I associated that with all the people that were in the mainstream news, well, our mainstream, I guess, that wore the deer hunter orange. It's fun that all of the remember that that one when Douglas Preston and then that reporter and stuff, and then Dal, they all have their sheds that they went to in the woods.
Their
Well,
shack.
what do deer do? They shed their antlers every year. And that's where I was catching on to Brian. That's we've had this discussion before. Like there is a pattern, there is a silver thread throughout all of this.
And can I say too that it had a number 2 on it? So if I found number 2, where's number 1? We should go visit that someday.
And then like Bullwinkles with the moose shed. We've got K-Pro going to the museum, standing in front of the moose so her antlers are behind her. We've got, I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. And then you're too busy worrying about the ants. You don't see the elephants. Like you're zoomed in too close. Back up a little bit to see the picture. Like yeah, it's just I enjoy that part of the chase. And it sucks that it's gone and I have to play Jack this stoof.com shit. Because the real chase was fucking awesome. That was Forrest
if
Fenn brought wisdom, I mean, across. Your generation is getting AI. You're acting like an AI. Like you're going through and you're collecting and you are AI.
Mhm. I
You
am.
know?
I'm gonna get every shred of data
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
possibly can. So
So
like,
so so when he said to find the jars, someday there'll be a technology to find the jars. What if
I don't
that technology was
I,
AI?
I don't believe. So here's the thing. All
Maybe
right.
he wasn't talking about metal detectors. Maybe he was talking about the mega resourcer.
Well, I mean,
AI was the tech he was talking about.
there could be something within. All right. So a lot of what Forrest Finn does when he leads you to a topic or a subject or a product or a title of some sort, it is the originality of that. So like, if he leads you to a lawnmower, right? You're gonna go figure out who the fucking first person in the world that invented the lawnmower, and then you're gonna see all the major lawnmower companies, and then you're just gonna start accumulating data that you were led to in all circulation of it.
Oh yeah. It's called
perpetual.
awareness. It's awareness of your surroundings. You're not being led blindly. You're actually aware you're being led.
Yeah, there's no bias. Like you don't pick
Yeah.
something and you're like, oh, that's great. No, you just keep going and you surround every amount of data around that lawnmower that you can find.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the next time, then you see something else, there'll be something in that that may have something to do with the lawnmower data that you had connected in a
So
very
that rabbit hole, I am so far into that rabbit hole that I have already deciphered all of the characters' names, and they all have a message. Like your name, it has a message in it. Brian's name has a message. Like everyone's name has a message. Yeah.
I know I
Yeah.
100% believe you, and that's how I think that Forrest was able to communicate with people through scrapbooks.
Yeah.
By
And he
he
had
was
to teach us how to do that, though. He had to teach us how to recognize that.
you had to see it to
Yeah.
just be
Like
taught.
it,
That was the
yeah.
only way.
And no, I agree totally. And it's like every lesson that he gave you, you were asking about 7 Up. The 7 lessons that Forrest Fenn put you through, the classes, and not putting a period after a center at the end of the sentence, but letting it evolve and let it mesh together. And then, it's just like the red and the blue. He lived in the purple, somewhere in the middle of that color spectrum.
You're right, and there's just so much that you just can't like leave on the table to look at in order for you to create the path that maybe he was trying to create for you in some degree.
Yeah,
And that's
so I mean, that's why I respected the chase. This chase 2.0, if it's leading to maybe it's him passing his legacy down to the next generation. Maybe that's what it is. So
well,
the
look at
treasure old is gone. So this is the treasure new that we're playing, the new age, and that's maybe why I can't connect with it.
it's going to be because well, it depends on what answers you're looking for. True, like honestly, like all right, how far? All right, what did you do while Forrest Fenn was alive, and then because not long after the chest was found, he died, right? So like pretty much the entire time he was alive, you can call pre-chase Jesus, and then AD after post
There you
Fenn,
go.
right? So you have like that context right there. What was everybody doing? And then what changed? Like that's what you really have to look at. Like, all right, what changed was all right, Jack found the treasure, and then nothing else. That was it. Like, not a solution. There were emails that were leaked to create solutions, but those weren't good enough even for a fucking Netflix to come out and then put it on immediate air because it was just right then and there. All right, we understand this. This is good. Let's go ahead and let's get it wrapped up. Blah. This is 50 mil right here. Easy. Come on. No, it's not like that. So people are holding on to things that have been things for a long time because there are things that they're waiting on that need to happen in order for this thing to be what it is. And uh, all of these little surrounding elements that have happened, whether it be Forrest Fenn, you just have to believe that not only that they're there, but that they pertain to it in order for you to be part of what is breathing from it. Because you're still here, you're still talking about it, you're still part of it, and you're still being it. But there are obstacles that are in your way that are preventing you from believing what that next step could be based off of maybe influence and then intuition and then the aspect that you felt during the live chase. But you don't know if it's still live right now or not. It just seems that it might not be because this guy named Jack showed up out of nowhere, grabbed this chest, and then didn't give us any answers. But I'm telling you that maybe that's not really what happened. If that did happen, there's actually other answers that don't even hold a candle next to what happened. It's not even a drop in the bucket.
So
And I'm
I've been around on the tubes for a while, and I've never once given my solve. Never once. Like I've never shared my solves.
never.
Never.
I
Not once.
I I see like the solving part. I could share a solve right now, and I would imagine that not a single person would even go and check it out. And
Well,
and
and,
and
and that's it. Like I went out years ago and no one had an interest in it when I was fishing around. And I said, whatever, and I shut up about it. And It is what it is. You know, it is. It's like, so that's my personal path. It has nothing to do with the community.
So out of like, I guess if my path and what I would do with everything is to somehow get the community involved that wanted to be involved. The people that weren't AIs, the people that weren't bots, the people that weren't not wanting to be a part of it, the people that were actually searching could be a part of it. There's a leadership opportunity within that. And there's an opportunity to create a story the same way that I was emphasizing with um, the little kid that found the money on the DB Cooper. There's a story that can be told before it's told, is what I'm saying. Forrest gave that to us. There's already 3 separate timelines. We have the future, the past, and the present. We all sort of know that everything's leading us into the past, but we don't know what's beyond Forrest's past that he's already given us. We're
Do you
trying
like
to
this community that we're in, though?
I do. I've lived in this community.
Like, honestly, though, like, I mean,
Honestly,
if you listen to it, everybody contradicts themselves.
you
They'll
know,
say one thing and act another way. Like everything is like just so it's like a fair weather friend is what the chase is to me. It's like there's a couple that are solid, and if they have a purpose here, like I can understand that. The other ones, it's like they don't know which way they're going. Like they don't. And it's like, okay, so we got wannabes here. We've got greed that opportunists like it's like it's such a fucked up community. It really is. But then you got other ones that they really just want to know the answer. But you got the other ones that really, I don't think that anyone really deserves any answers, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think anyone deserves an answer.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
No, when
Ah,
you say we, that might mean like 3 people. That's not the 20 that are in the community. That's
yeah.
I
That's
think that
different.
I
You were
think
you, you brought up DB Cooper a while ago and the kid that found the money,
uh,
Chris.
yeah.
Brian Ingram is his name.
Mhm.
So I was watching DB Cooper Sleuth or whatever it's called with Ryan. Have you watched any of that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I guess he's Brian Ingram's going to be at CooperCon.
Yeah, he's gonna be there this year.
Have you ever been to CooperCon?
Mm-mm.
That's
No,
something we should do sometime. That would be kind of cool.
dude, I'm such isolated out of this stuff because I hate confrontation. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like the beliefs that I have are probably almost political to people in a way. Like they're gonna be so rooted in with how they have thought things that mine is gonna be the exact opposite direction. And I've dealt with it for 10 years that it's like I play the long con too, and everything drops as it goes, right? So there is such thing as time, and time equals process of elimination. Whenever everybody sort of throws in the towel, is whenever answers can probably be easier revealed. What does that say? It's blurry.
It says it's been shipped just now.
oh, you triggered
Shiloh,
Is
something.
that the razor?
Shiloh's watching.
Did you get the
You
razor?
triggered something, buddy.
I triggered something.
You got that razor, huh? No, but for real, I do. I love the community full-heartedly. I try to pay it a lot of attention. The reason why everybody is crazy is because Forrest Fenn made them that way. It's
Yeah.
I
that's
think those are the weak. This is no place for the meek, okay? The meek ones are the ones that went fucking crazy. And he said to be very careful before things
You
began to
read that?
become very abstract.
What's it
what
say?
does that say? Sorry for the late reply. Did you message him about being shipped?
Yeah. So I sent Shiloh a message. He never did reply. So I said, hello. If it's not any trouble, I'd like to donate the Japanese razor to Mr. Napple, even though he probably needs a beard kit. And at this moment, ha ha. I said, I sure do like the silver and gold on this razor. Hope he likes it. Thanks, Brian. So Shiloh finally gets back to me, which is really weird because I actually
What the
deleted
fuck?
I deleted this yesterday because I was like, well, obviously something's going on, so I just deleted it. Well, he replied saying, Brian, I'm sorry for the late reply. I sent this to Ben's address for you. He should be receiving it soon. Thanks again, Shiloh.
Oh, so all right, so you told him to donate it to Ben, so you bought it, and then he shipped it to Ben for you.
Yeah.
So he got your message before he shipped it.
What's that?
So he got your message before he shipped it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
guess
okay.
it showed up on his end, which is a good thing.
That's so weird.
I've kind of gave up, like, well, maybe he's not going to comment or anything, or maybe didn't see it, but that's kind of weird. It just happened tonight at this
Well,
time.
you got Shiloh big and bold right there. Who is I don't know who is it, is he in chat? Does Shiloh have like YouTube or I don't think he's in Discord. I'm sure they say that he is. If he is, and I'm sure it's like something crazy that we ain't gonna know.
I have no idea. I would say probably not. I mean, but that's interesting though. It just happened tonight.
What all have you ordered from eBay?
That's it. Well, I do have a couple of fin bronzes. Have you seen those?
Uh-uh.
I do have two fin bronzes.
That you got off eBay?
Yeah.
Really? That's
Not from
nice.
Shiloh. This was like 4 or 5
Uh,
months, 6 months
just
ago.
in the market. They
Yeah.
were just there. That's cool. So now you have a piece of gold, and then you have two Finn bronzes, and then you have the Foya picture. What else do you have from Finn Souvenirs?
I have a dude poker chip, dude lounge poker chip.
How much is that on it?
I can't remember now. I don't even remember where I even got that at, where I put it at. It's probably over there in the box somewhere.
Huh.
It's a poker chip. It's a green one.
The bigger the number, the more they're worth. It's
Yeah.
weird.
On the poker chips? What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Well, I don't know if this one actually, I don't know. Is it in here? Let me see if I can find it. I've got it here somewhere.
I took and hid my Fenn coin. It was the first generation without numbers. And when I went out to Vegas and met K-Pro and Mike, I don't know if I put him on the spot or what, but K-Pro, like, oh, I won it. I won it at poker. And she didn't have any. So she gave me hers, like the one that she had. And she's like, she didn't really want to give it over, but she gave it over. But I hid that out in Colorado at the entrance of a gold mine. It was an old cabin that had collapsed on itself.
Oh, that's
And,
cool.
and it was funny because they caved in, but it was on a creek right at the headwaters. And there was a mattress springs there and the cabin still that had collapsed. And there was a Coors Light 1958 miniature peel top Coors Light can that was crushed. So I sat that on the bed spring and I put that coin on there with a little note on there. And I left it there for a year and a half, 2 years, because it was in a very finny spot, very finny. And yeah, no one, I went back out there to check on it and it was still sitting there. So I just brought it home. But so that's in
No.
my coin collection there.
Then how many did they make like 1,000 of those or something? How
No,
many
no. They didn't make very many of them at all. It was like 200, wasn't it, or something like
was
that.
it?
First generation of them.
That was way off.
Yeah, I might be wrong, but I didn't think there was that many of them out there. No, I've collected a lot of trinkets throughout the Fenn chase. And
Oh yeah. So first gen copper coins are numbered to 999. And then third were silver tone.
yeah,
So
mine was a silver tone one.
was it?
Yep.
Second.
Unnumbered silver.
You see that, Chris? Kind of,
Oh, is that the San Lazaro?
yeah.
You're crazy, bro. What are you doing? You're gonna have a Fenn museum in your backyard.
in my backyard.
Yeah, everything's
I
gonna
can't
go.
find the poker chip. I'm not sure where it is. I got it somewhere. Oh, I'll show you something else, Chris. You've never seen this.
Oh, let me go get a charger because my iPad's about to die.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
I, don't-
Brian, I like Chris. He's pretty.
I told you you'd like him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
No,
more up your he's kind of more up your alley. You know, you guys are like these deep thinkers and stuff, and I'm like, man, I just kind of stay neutral.
nah, he's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, he is.
And it sounds like,
Wait till he sees this.
oh, you know, I still say that I remember Forrest specifically saying I took the olive jar out of the chest because it had too much personal information in it. I don't think that was in the chest.
Mm,
And that
Chris,
was years and years ago.
What were you getting, Brian?
did you see? Can you see that?
What in the fuck? Where did you get that at?
You didn't know that he is the creator of
Every
jackstoof.com.
time,
And
every time I look up, he's got something different.
yeah, yeah. Love it. We should have an episode called Show and Tell. Ah, gotcha, Ben. Show and tell. Gotcha.
Y'all can see my little Sandy Koufax here that I
Oh
just
wow,
got.
that's pretty cool.
What is it?
It's hard to see. There it is.
There. What is
Yeah.
that?
Numbered Sandy Koufax, 51 out of 99.
That's your Fenn memorabilia?
No, I was just sitting here next to me while I was
Oh.
watching your souvenirs.
Chris,
What?
you're kind of into you know kind of what's on Discord. You know their theories as far as the shovel,
Yeah.
the razor, and the earplugs, right?
So yeah, I've been paying attention a little bit to the eBay stuff
Okay.
for sure.
So now that that's been shipped, what does that tell you?
I mean, I play the game, so whenever I got in, I was like, all right, how can I play this? I'm gonna have to like create a pattern if I'm gonna do something. And so what I did is I was going to wait and be the person that got the 100th item off of eBay. And so what I did that, I bought that, and then I think maybe a day or two later, 100-piece puzzle came up on there. And so I bought that. And I was like, all right, is he listening to me? And then so I just left it at that. But no, I played the eBay game. And I'm trying to pay attention, especially on like Ben's shovel. Like why did he why like people are obviously like excited about it, but like why did he just throw it on there? Is this fun? And answers like what I'm trying to figure out like the motive. I get it, but there has to be like, is this the waiting game? And then who the fuck are we waiting on? Like type thing. And so that I don't know. I don't really know how to perceive it. I can see like, like Shiloh just, sends you a message while you got Shiloh right behind your face and you've been waiting for it. And so was he waiting for you? I don't know. And that's just, I have to like think of those things and keep them there just in case, it pops up again. And then also staying sane at the same time.
Exactly.
Well, didn't you say it earlier? You think a lot of this information is waiting for someone to get triggered enough to say something?
I mean, what can you say though? That's the thing. Like, I think that it's a story that you can't just spell out. Like, no one's gonna believe anybody that says anything unless it's a mouth that came from, and then it hasn't came from that mouth yet. So
And this is just me thinking of it right now as we're talking. So when being triggered to say something, so let's say that there's somebody that actually knows a story, like a family member, or someone that was given the script, and do this stuff, make this person triggered so that it can go out in public and be public domain. Do you see what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
like you hear me when I say that, right? Like,
yeah.
So let's just keep triggering and let's just keep pushing a button because we want something to come out in public so that it could be publicly used.
The so like that the part of that is what you believe, right? So Jack found this.
I just thought of that. So it's
Well, no, I love that because I mean it actually makes sense because you can partition the whole thing away from what we're against. And we're against what Jack found. We already know what he found, but we also had items in the chest that we don't have any idea how they got there. And so with that being somewhat of a discrepancy along with all the other patterns that have happened, then it's safe to say that maybe some people got maybe trapped into having to be where they're at right now. Like, all right, I'm gonna do this, but then they were forced to like keep their mouths shut because of the situation they were put in, thinking that they were in this glorious situation. All of a sudden, now they're in a 5-year NDA, maybe.
Yep.
And so even though that they want to say, they can't say, and they've been trying to say, and the way that they have to say is the way that Forrest Fenn would be saying it to us, and code. And that's
we
how
would
I
have to go online and then speak the whole time and hope someone can pick up what they're stepping in.
100%. And they know something, but they can't say anything, and they're fin speaking to whoever they know that they are supposed to fin speak to, and they were given that topic of some sort to be that character, and they got trapped, or they are willing to do it because they didn't know the actual.
But it continues on every week. There's something new. There's new bait put out there every week, so that maybe that individual has not been trapped yet.
Well,
it's getting desperate.
Maybe that's where the layer of the rat race gambling comes in, right? So the inheritance that maybe goes to the family, there is a bet in place somewhere. We're talking about very affluent people that don't have fucking anything to do, and when it comes to hurting a fucking organization of people and organizing them in a certain way, there can be things. It's like a racehorse track to me at that point.
I thought of the horse race a long time ago on that one. And I agree totally. It is kind of a horse race. So if we reference back to the codex, it was different family members, that were trying to get this inheritance. Could that, because it is integrated to the chase, it's the same story as what we were led to believe, with Douglas Preston, he did a version called the Codex. Yeah. So maybe some of these people are family members that are the ones that are laying the bait and setting the traps to make it a public domain so that they can claim.
The hardest thing.
Do you think that they're, what I'm trying to say, do you think there's family members that are influencers?
Maybe. The thing is I just don't know that one single person, and if there is, has all of the information. I think that somebody could have a piece of it, and then once, like in the Codex, the whole point of the book wasn't about the gold. It was about getting everybody back together. It was about the redemption, the glory of what they all found while they were searching for the gold, and then they all became one again. And so, like, when it becomes Finn speak and these influencers that have maybe no way to say anything, they are forced to do exactly what Forrest did, and they all have to somehow find each other if they did not know each of them existed in their certain character way, right? So it becomes one single entity versus another one, and they don't know how to explain to each other what is going on, but they all know they're in the same fucking boat.
Or maybe the greed prevents them from making that connection.
Yeah,
they think that they're one up on each other.
Now, there could be, let's say that somebody might know like what the ending is, right? So let's say that let's say this ending is some reveal, all these missing things that went missing years and years ago, DB Cooper, Gardner heist, all these things. are just popping up. And it's like, hey, there was a person that was involved with all of these things that actually took all these missing things and put them in one single location to where you can go and find. And it's been this long 50-year treasure hunt that no one knew about, because if everybody was looking, it would be found, and they didn't want it to be found. They want it to be found a certain way. It's a production. They funnel it. And so, like, in that context, it becomes so many different things that are going on that this person had so many resources to delegate. It got complex. And then only one single person can figure it out. And that person would likely be the somebody that would be absolutely physically in close proximity to something that was there that he baited in to just have the idea stuck in their head and be brainwashed because they were in close proximity.
A mad genius.
They had no idea that it was about them, but they were in close proximity that it became about them over time. And he already had that person set up fucking 20 years ago because he could not risk losing this proximity. And if they had it in their head, they would tell locals, they would tell people around and create a legend. And then that legend would forever be in this little paper fucking town or whatever existed that he found forever. And then eventually somebody would find Forrest Fenn and be like, what the fuck? This makes sense. And they'll go out to that town. All the locals will be like, yeah, I heard this, I heard this, I heard that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this makes sense. And then bam, you excavate this whole entire fucking shit that you never heard of. But it's on tribal land. And then all of a sudden you find it on tribal land. The Indians are like, we didn't know it was here, but this is our fucking land. We're taking this shit. You're not getting none of this. And all of a sudden you have all these parties involved that you didn't know where you were going to find it, but you found it. And then you didn't realize that it was
Maybe that's where the go in peace comes in.
There you go. And it will all unravel because that's what I'm saying. He found a location and then he built off of that. He had to have an exact spot. He had to have tribal. He had to have he had to have Jesus. He had to have the fucking devil. He had to have everything. He had to have the opposites of all of it for it to actually connect so you can make sense through logic. And then also making sense. Making sense is important. It's not logic. It's what makes sense. When you use it in an actual term, like what did Forrest do? Everything he did, he worked for. He made it make sense. Not fucking sense in your head, but make it make money. Make it make value. What value does this bring that's going to bring you to the next level of this? There's confidence involved. A con man is confident. And when you move with confidence, you are able to be precise with things and you're able to not be distracted about other things that could fuck you up. That's how I live as a car salesman too. Like I avoid any bias. I put myself in the customer's shoes so that way I can see exactly what they want and need. And I'm answering their questions and they're giving me clues. What I'm doing is I am meeting and greeting them. I am here for you. And I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to tell me, and I'm going to clue that out and tell you because I know everything about my surroundings. And then a person that is within close proximity to that is going to know everything about these surroundings more than anybody that's foreign to it. And he would need that to be there, even though that person didn't know they were there for that purpose. The same way for all these NDAs, they might have an idea, but they don't know what it actually means. They're just told to do this and they're trapped. They can't get out of it. And that's why you see God, I'm tired of this. I'm ready. I'm over it. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. And it's all code. That's why you feel like it's code, because it fucking is. And it's just somebody out there procrastinating on what they need to do. And I know that just because that's the fucking ore. That's
Amen. You know that.
I'm going to say that.
I knew you were here for a reason. Come on.
I don't know. I'm nothing. It's just, I'm just here to fucking just make a nuisance out of myself.
I just think I find it interesting, all the searchers that jumped in after the fact and how they are like the front runners for the new generation. It's kind of amusing, actually.
So I like to profile it that way. You know, I don't, you're not on Discord and you don't follow stoof.com or anything, but like, I don't know, you've been around for a while, but you know Bear. Do you know Bear?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's been around, you know, back in 2018 or 19. He was claiming him to be the lead searcher, right?
He was the lead dog, and he showed up in his sheep tan jacket and his cowboy hat, and K-Pro brought him on, and then she called him a big fucking turd burger.
Well, now you go and talk to him. It's a complete different story.
Because
It's like
he shredded his book into pieces.
I would have too if I would have thought of that. To be honest, I am rolling one up here. Sorry.
On your disc golf. On your
Did I spark that for you?
Oh, that little guy. Now, this is the most convenient little plate. Dude, I fucking ripped this
So
thing like
I've got my theories on why that became legalized to where associated with tech and and gaming. Like it all lines up. Like and that probably because that AI personality that you have might be a byproduct of that.
I mean, here's the thing. When I sent Brian earlier just a generalized list of topics that I could come up with on shit, and video games and just the tech part of it is absolutely like a big portion of how I would interpret, simply because this is a game. But I go back into the originality of games, like the concept, and then what popular games existed before games are what they are now. Because right now it's cynical. It's super cynical gaming right now. It's all the same shit. It's all fucking RP, a first player. It's Call of Duty, Skyrim, fucking Witcher. Like it doesn't. It's all the same stuff. But back in the day, people, whenever they first started getting out of the analog and into the digital era, it was Super Nintendo going into PlayStation discs, and so there were a lot of consoles that created worldwide craziness, that created a lot of cult followings now, such as Mario Brothers, such as like pinball, or even Mortal Kombat or Donkey Kong, shit like that. So I think things like that are within the Japan world of Nintendo, because I think Japan is a big play in it, simply because Jack Stoof is wearing a fucking Tokyo baseball hat while he's signing the a Copper Dan's poster thing or whatever the fuck.
So do you believe that everything has an equal balance to it?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. All right. I just want to say that. So if there's an equal balance, a polarity going on, okay?
Yeah.
Now that means the complete wrong path will feel like the right path because you're on that pole. Correct?
Between those two axes, absolutely.
Didn't Forrest say get off the couch, get out of the game room, and get into nature?
I mean, that's the thing. He said that, and anything that he says, you really just sort of like your fucking Miranda rights. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
So if a gamer that really got into it, a younger generation, be on the opposite pole, but feel so right,
yeah,
but could be so wrong at the same time.
Yeah, I believe that is 100%.
Then Forrest said it's time for them to get back in the game room.
He said get back in the box.
Well, didn't he say it's when with Shiloh and him, that little skit that was shown? It's, I guess they're going back to the game room.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean,
and that's how I view, well, and no offense, that's how I view you. You're in that game room.
Oh, I'm 100%.
It's cool.
I'm hitting every fucking button. I'm playing Street Fighter right now, and I'm fucking hitting all these buttons like I never played before. I'm more of challenging everything is what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
Stuff that people have not challenged before either, and so that's literally like, I don't know how any other way to justify the explanation of it, rather than you just have to think of absolutely everything when you come to a stop, a period, a point, a pause, a topic, and whatever it can be, whatever the scrambled, it can be the color that you're envisioning. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and we don't know which one Fenn used out of whatever picture he's giving us. And you just have to think a little bit further and do a little bit more work, but that's simple. That's really easy to do when you apply it. You just have to do a lot of it to get all the applications together.
No, I think there's a code to the tech, and I think there's a code to nature. And I went as far as learning about the Merkabas,
Yeah.
about the Atlanteans had a Merkaba, and they were more in a feminine spiritual, and then the Martians, the red came in. They're envious, they're more physical, masculine. They're envious of the Merkaba and the harmony that the Atlanteans had. And so they couldn't take that Merkaba from them.
Yeah.
And so they had to create their own. Well, that's basically the world we live in, right? We are tech in a way because we are nothing but molecules and neutrons and electrons and vibrations. That's what we are. That's stimulated by electricity. So we are a sense of tech. But then we had to make an alternative world in our computers in a virtual world. That's how I look at that. And it's like I just went into the computer side to master that
I
and
mean,
apply it in real world.
yeah, it's like the same thing almost. It's just like a layer that hasn't caught up to real life yet. You know?
But yet I was aware of my surroundings where I wouldn't get trapped.
Yeah. And that's a good thing too. That's logic. That's like good intuition because you also lived in a world where there was no digital age, and
Exactly.
you turned your TV stations on a
That
fucking
was my lifeline. That
yeah.
was my lifeline where I could crawl out of hell.
Now 99% of people can't live without their phones, and so we're
Yep.
just I mean, there's simply put, is we're brainwashed, and so it's not really our fault. It's just how we just move as a culture and society. And we like to reap greed. Like if there's real nice and flashy, fancy things that are shiny, like a lot of people are going to want to grab them because they never had
Yeah.
them before. And
No,
so,
I'm sympathetic with it. I mean, I was a parent that introduced tech to my child, so I am part of that evil. You know what I mean? I wasn't aware of how deep that hole is going to get.
oh, there's my hole. The holes get deep. I'm telling you.
I know.
We,
That's where the last show I was on, I said Rubicon, right? The
yeah.
point of no return. That's when you're so
No,
deep, you're like, fuck it, let's just finish this.
yeah, that brings up a great point too. Is like when you bring it into the context of how all of this started, is it's almost it's almost perpetual, right? It's the beginning is the end, and
Yep.
so it becomes like where you start is where you end, is going up is also going down, and then so that's where you become maybe realizing that the opposites attract in a weird way. No matter what word you have to use, you're gonna have to go down a fucking hole that you
And
may not want to dig down,
and,
but
and
it's
his manager had an issue with his polarity at the cafe. Remember the story where his manager washing dishes and he drove that big stupid yellow Cadillac and
oh yeah,
had him, yeah, and Forrest said that he was questioning his polarity. A lot of people associated that with sexuality, but I associated it with equal and equal opposites, you know?
yeah. I mean, that's what drives people crazy, man. Because I mean, they feel something extreme on this end, and they feel something extreme on this end. There's no way that you can extremely react in the middle. Like, how do you extremely be in the middle?
I
There's no.
have been called a fence walker this entire time. I get along with the cool kids and I get along with the dipshits. I get along with the kids that have a curfew and I get along with the kids that have no curfew. The
And when you're,
sportos and the nerds.
oh yeah, I'm the same exact way. I blend in. I'm a chameleon.
That's why you're a salesperson.
But if I'm like out of my comfort zone, I can't. I'm like I don't know what to do. I'll shake. I'll get nervous and I'll have anxiety. Like if I'm on this end, like right now, I'm comfortable because I'm very comfortable in what I'm talking about
Yeah.
because I'm doing it for. If I was talking about fucking XTM right now or
Quantum physics.
Barb Anderson, I would be like fucking like
They
I
all jumped in the picture. It was so transparent and fake.
Did
And
you just bring up that name?
I can't
I love.
stand all of that. That is all drama. That is a soap opera. I can't stand it. It's
Leave it
like,
to Chris to bring up that name.
I'm sorry. No, I don't have any problem with any of these people. I watch some of their stuff. They just put out stuff that I've seen, but I like hearing the refreshers. And that's what I do for a living. I go into salespeople and they're like, I don't want to fucking see you. I'm Mr. Feeney. And they're just like, dude, you're telling me shit I already know. And I'm like, I know. I got to do it though still. And so you just got to create a show out of it. Sometimes they're just not really good at creating fucking shows. And that's it.
Speaking of shows, we probably need to end this thing. What time is it?
Oh
It's
yeah.
20.
11:30.
Yeah.
I ain't got work tomorrow. I'm gonna go play another 36 holes tomorrow.
What? Good gosh. Yeah. When are you going to work?
I'm off for a while. I don't have
How are you?
any, yeah, probably another at least 2 weeks, maybe till
Oh,
June.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
a little bit after.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I guess we broke his cherry, so now we can release him into the wild and watch him jump on all the other shows.
Ah. No, I imagine I won't get summoned too much. I stay pretty tight knit with people that I trust. I do have a like I'm not loosely tied to this chase. I am constantly embedded in this. I am constantly watching Discord. I have people that I constantly talk to all day long about this every single day. Within people that are within the chase, and then people that have nothing to do with the chase as well, that I talk to all day long about the chase because they just like stories. And so I have stories. I like to tell them. You haven't heard anything that I have to say at all tonight in any shape or form. You've heard pretty much surface stuff.
I
And
love the one with your mom, like dragging your mom out there, performing illegal acts. Like that's hilarious. I'm sorry, that's funny shit.
oh no, it happened. And so I'll go into detail, into the future if you want or have any questions. But I'll talk to you about how scrapbooks were involving my mother.
Yeah,
And how it could perceive on what she was my search partner for the whole time. Like no one, I mean, how do you talk about people? You can't talk to anybody about this shit unless you're
I think
married.
it's amazing that you had your mom on your side like that. I
Oh
think
yeah.
just that quality time that you had.
That's cool.
That's amazing. So, and to be honest with you, Chris, you are exactly the profile that's needed for this new chase that's going on with the stoof.com, with all of that. Like you've been keeping up with it. You are, yeah. And you're intelligent. Like you are on point. So it's cool.
Yeah.
I live and breathe this, man. I everywhere I go, I meet new people. I talk about, the things that could happen in the future with it. And it's just I try to bring crazy, weird Santa Claus belief to people that are just, this society that we live in now they're all like, it's woke, but they're all depressed and shit. They're all like fucking, they're so fucking glued to dumb shit that assists them that they don't know how to do anything on their own. And
Just
so,
remember I said that Santa Claus is the trap.
I mean, in the belief, right? I want to give them some
Just
good.
remember I said that. Just remember I said that. Santa Claus is the trap.
My hope is to actually come down the chimney and give you presents. Let's do it like that.
All
Let's
right.
make it happen. I'll make it real.
I give a presents everywhere I walk into, my friend.
There we go. You're like
So-
little Rock Hood.
So, Chris, before we get off here, you remember us talking about the 13, 31, 34?
I do. Yes. Meh.
What do you think about that?
I think that's very interesting. I think that whenever you mentioned that, I went and put it in the search chat, and all that came up was Ben's name, and then you put it in, and then like two other names came in, which is weird. And then I had exactly 100 messages different on my end. So I don't know if it has something to do with tech or if it was because maybe I was blocked by those other two users, and then they somehow coincidentally had exactly 100 messages that differed from our screenshots. But I also recognize that I did it in Fenn or the whole entire Discord rather than just damn, ain't good smoke unless you choke. But fucking lung
That's
snap.
part of the
You're a
chase.
big
You know that,
joke.
right? That cough is
You got a
part of the
big meat
chase.
joke.
Get
That was
it?
my
Coughing.
code. My code.
Get it? You're coughing
Yeah, right.
in the wood.
Man, I still have half this fucking. But no, what was I saying? Anyways,
Oh, we were talking about the 1331.
oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fucking. It's interesting because meh is weird, one, but your the theory how you got there through that, and then saw it and sort of live, and then another reality is I caught on to it, and I had to think about because you gave me the code of A is one, B is two.
Yeah.
I didn't see your two revolutions of it until later. I just went along with what you were saying, and then I went down and looked at it, and I was like, okay, these numbers, and then I had to put it together that you overlapped it, another
Yeah.
revolution, and then I saw
Continuation.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that makes sense actually with Forrest in that because I do that, but I use it in a different context because I break the poem down through 48 states rather than doubling the alphabet. I double the poem and then I do 48 states and then I start working off of capitals off of that way. And then you start fucking seeing shit go weird. But yeah, no, the meh I would say is so obviously there's a reason for everything. Maybe like why we're here, maybe why I'm coughing, maybe why I have Shiloh in the background, maybe why Shiloh even sent you a fucking text message. But whenever shit goes live, and you see it, you recognize it, right? It's one of two things. Either it's there on purpose or it's there on accident, and you just perceive it to be something.
Right.
And so I have to like watch out for that difference. And meh has one of those things that I'm like on the radar about, honestly.
So I know Jason is curious, and if you spell it out for him, he's going to know exactly who that person is.
Okay, so for like the actual
You don't have to do that.
206?
You don't have to do that live if you don't want to.
What, me or who?
Yeah.
Jason?
He's saying don't do it now. Don't do it now.
No, only if he wants to.
Who, me? I don't care. I'm down for whatever, bro.
So I've already got a whole theory that I caught on to a long time ago in the chase is that the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
What if we're still in the bang? What if everything is quantum? Everything. That's why everything can just shift. That's like we are still in the loop
Like Chris just did there. He just shifted.
Yeah, like we are still in that bang. So it's just a never-ending loop. So it's
in chat anyway. Somebody
so
called
like
on.
1946 is happening right now. 2025 is happening right now. Where it's all layers. It's all an onion. All of it. And then the leaders can actually choose their own destiny.
Yeah, but I mean, that's where it becomes like super apparent as who's the leader, you know, and is everybody their own hero in this, or are they all?
They could be. They could be if they're not trapped.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Wrap it up. Get the last word.
I think that's what Forrest was trying to tell us. Like you can be your own self-made man. You just have to get out of the traditional way of thinking.
Yeah, I think the message
I agree.
I got from Forrest just believe in yourself and grab every banana. It's simple terms.
It's when he said that every generation thinks it's going to be the last. Everyone thinks that they're caught in genocide. Everyone thinks that every generation has an apocalypse. Every generation thinks the end of the world's coming.
Yeah.
It's all stories. It's all stories. and they're gonna continue on because we're gonna continue to live and die forever. Like you're dead before you're born, so you don't remember, and you're dead when you die. And then whatever happens after that in our reality isn't gonna matter. So
What if this is a version of us being dead, but we think we're alive?
and then I fucking I'm even more intrigued at that
Yeah, I
point.
know, right? Like
I'm on that fucking train, yeah.
that compass just goes round and round. You don't limit
Yeah.
yourself.
If I see something that has never happened, I'm gonna fucking grab it. And every time, if you put me near a star, I'm gonna go fucking find a different star because someone else can have that one, right? Like I am like always on a chase and on a journey. What
Yep.
I find is what I'll use to fund or make my next journey in some way because I'm
That's
not.
what I was up. That's what was disappointing about the chase. Like there was no help
No,
the next level. You know,
but
it's like you got to make it work.
so my energy is to help you believe in the Santa Claus phase context that this, what you are living in now, this world is that. What you are talking about, that in between
Yep.
that 26 and 25 right now, like you are in that zone. Oh, fuck, am I here? And you're sort of just waking up to it. And you're like, oh, I am. Everybody else is too. What are we doing? Let's figure this shit out. I'm here to help you fucking do that so that this story can be told because it's the greatest fucking story ever.
I'm someday. I'm very stubborn. I am like, yeah.
Are you measuring your butt?
Yeah, I know. I don't understand what that was about.
I
No,
don't
no.
either. I did not get that either. Was that supposed to? I don't know. I didn't get that. I thought that's what you were doing there.
You know what I was doing there? Chris, you know what I meant by that?
Were
The
those horns?
Longhorns? Longhorns?
Yeah, no, man. You know, it's, you know that. It's horns down where I'm at. Sorry.
Nope,
Wait.
it's one down, one up.
Oh, well, shoot, man. I'm so sports fucking focused in my head whenever I'm
We're
listening.
breaking the guy down. He was full
I
of
don't know.
smoke when we started the show, and now he is getting broke down. Like,
I'm
bruh.
either
Pretty soon
thinking
you're gonna
about
be
y'all
galaxy sleeping.
or
Yeah, what happened to Galaxy? He just like gave up on us.
I know he's just like mad. He's
Well,
just
I tell
mad.
you what, Chris, the thing with Galaxy is he's very quiet. He's always that way.
He
And
has
just
some really
like,
good.
Yeah,
I
I
like.
think if we would have been talking some Forrest Fenn chase stuff, he would have probably jumped right in. But with the stoof.com, he just has he doesn't care about that stuff.
I'm
Well,
interested to see where your guys' chase is gonna take you. You know, it's intriguing. Like,
watching.
it,
I'll keep spilling some beans here and there, but I don't know. There is like on my end, I have like a focus and a goal on
yeah,
things like where I would want to be, and they're super quick, but like it's like there's also a way to keep it going while people know at the same time. Does that make
yep.
sense? You can
No,
be
that's
part of
what
it because all of y'all are part of it. All of
you are
y'all.
the poster child of Chase 2.0. So I I
We,
hope
we,
we could stay in contact. You're a pretty cool guy, man.
anytime y'all want, to chat, dude, I'm down. I love this stuff, man. I'll sit here and
Shit,
talk
I'll
about
drive down and hang out with you.
Yeah, come on. Hey,
I've got
well,
lots of friends in Oklahoma.
oh
So.
fuck, I didn't even watch the Thunder game. Fuck.
No, I'm part of
Did
the
you
Jeep.
record it? Did you record it?
Oh, I just looked at the score. Fuck, they lost. Series, they're gonna go into game 6 next, and Mavs are up, and it's just you got sports down here. You're either like a huge OU, OSU, Cowboy fan, Sooners,
Yeah,
and they
you.
Thunder. And that's it. Like, and it's dominant. There's nothing like it's die hard. So you got 100,000 people at one game, no matter what, when it's going on, and it's
Trust
like,
me, I've got family that lives in Oklahoma, and that's all I hear about is the Sooners. Yeah,
that and fucking weather, tornadoes, man. It's spraying
tornadoes.
live right now.
I'm
Yeah.
part of the Jeeper crew that are down there. The
Oh, you
Jeep
a Jeep
offer,
guy?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of friends that are down in Oklahoma on the off-road Jeep side.
Oh, they have the Red Dirt Jeep Club down here, I think, or maybe that's a regional thing. But yeah, I see a lot of the
Oh yeah.
you got a whole lot of those little ducks.
I do actually. I got bags of them. I have a
saw this
I have a
TikTok.
Donald Trump duck.
Oh, that's so funny. I saw this TikTok video where it's like people making fun of Jeep people and they're taking baths with all their ducks that they get.
Dude, I have my 9-year-old girl. She loves going into a parking lot and she'll grab one of the ducks and we glued like little magnets on them so we could put them anywhere on the Jeep.
Yes.
And watching her like sneak up to a McDonald's and go in between and like beep and then run
Oh,
back. She'll tag other people's Jeeps with them.
that's so
I didn't
funny.
even know that was a thing until about a
Yeah.
couple of months ago.
Oh, it's so
The
funny.
little ducks on the dashboard. I'm like, what is this with the ducks? And my wife's like, are you seriously clueless? She
I
goes,
lo-
what's a thing? I didn't know that.
It's funny.
I had
All
no
right,
idea.
guys. I appreciate both of you guys. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I apologize for talking too much, but I was on a
Dude.
kick with this guy. He was pretty cool.
No,
Well,
y'all are
Jason,
great, man.
Jason, you know
Appreciate
me. This
Jason.
is honestly not my element to put myself out here. We've talked about this before.
It's not mine either.
Yeah, but you're a talker. I'm not really a big talker. I mean, seriously, one-on-one, I'm pretty good, but to put myself up here on YouTube and try to be funny and everything. I mean, for crying out loud, I came out here with Shiloh's head.
I know
Oh my
you
God.
reminded me
You
of
know,
the baby head.
I thought your screen was glitching earlier when you had that on, and I was like, "Hold on, should I fucking tell him his face looks fucking weird right now in the split?" And then I saw you take it off, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Honestly, I was hoping it was more for Greg than anybody. I was hoping Greg would jump on. If that was more for Greg, because
Yeah,
Shiloh was going to give Greg a little lip.
well, he missed out. That's fun. We had a good time.
And I do like the shirt. I like the shirt.
Yeah.
No promo.
All
All
right.
right.
Guys. Thanks for coming on, Chris. Jason,
Thanks for having me.
Chris, did you have fun?
Yes, I did. I will. I'm looking forward to next time already.
All right. Sounds good, bud.
All right.
Peace out, Jelly
Thanks,
Bean.
Ryan. Thanks, Jason. See you, Galaxy.
He's snoring. Later.